We've got...
Ladies and gentlemen, could you now please make your way off the ground so we can commence with the senior grand final. Thank you.
Best today.
Thanks, Jim.
Good on you. Well done, Jason. Best of luck.
Thanks, guys.
No worries. You stop strangling me now. Thank you very much.
First Division Senior Grand Final between East Burwood and Vermont. Would you please join me in being upstanding for the playing of the national anthem? Thank you.
Set to start with the 1999 First Division Grand Final. Geoff Ward. Should be fantastic. You're down there with Mark Evans. We'll catch up with you, gentlemen, in just a few moments as umpire Mark Lawson holds the ball aloft for the start of the 99 First Division Senior Grand Final. It'll be Vermont heading to the Canterbury Road end. Neil in the ruck. Houghton has started there. Ball down. Richardson crunched off the first bounce. Couldn't get a kick away. Still a mad scramble in the middle. Coghlan going in hard. So too Witcher. And we may have a free kick. We will. It'll go the way of the Rams. Justin Witcher to take it. First clean possession in the 99 Grand Final. Witcher all the way from Perth, South Fremantle, goes inside 50, bouncing ball at the back. O'Dwyer coming across Williamson, but Morrison will clear. Steady, Morrison to the outer side has Smith, and it may be downfield. Certainly something going on behind play. Here's Brendan McCormack.
Interesting matchups already. It's O'Dwyer on Tennant, and Power has the tough job on Wind.
Ball to the outer side, centre wing, up they go. Burgill was in the middle of it. Morrison sees it to the line and over for a boundary throw-in. Jimmy Dowsley's with us. Jim, just going through the umpires' minds at the moment. What would they be thinking? Just hoping to settle in?
They'd be hoping to settle in and pick the major free kicks early to set a pattern.
Ball to come in, centre wing, outer side. Up they go, Lamprell in over the top. Ball falls down below. Smith going through. Grinter holds him up. Grinter does well. In fact, it's Jason Coghlan out there sporting no hair. That's almost offensive to Rod Grinter, isn't it? But it is Jason Coghlan. And Coghlan brought to ground. Yeah, it is too. Have a look at that. He looks a bit like Rod Grinter from here, doesn't he? Anyway, ball down at right half forward. Mrs. Grinter will be looking for me tonight. Neil is taken high in the ruck and he'll get the free kick. Let's go down to Geoff Ward. We'll come back to Geoff Ward in just a moment.
Get a better position, Geoff. You're too cracking up, mate.
Yeah, come out from behind those dark clouds down there, mate. Balls to the outer side, centre wing. As Vermont bring it up towards left half forward. Cullen in front from behind O'Dwyer. And the ball is out of play. O'Dwyer certainly running a fair way up the ground on that occasion.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, that's probably the game plan. You look, he's already run off Tennant. That's a key, I think, for Vermont, their running back line.
Ball to come in, centre wing, outer side, early stages, no scorers yet. Smith got a hand on it, but Richardson will get a clear kick away through centre wing, outer side and into the crowd. And the crowd get their very first touch in the 99 grand final. Speaking of the crowd, Geoff Dowling, huge.
Justin, I've been sitting here and it has been swelling up in front of me.
Cullen goes to the outer side, be careful. Mazzin's there, couldn't get a mark. Neil over the top, Smith also there to assist. They get their first kick towards the 50. No mark taken. Little kick off the ground, not bad. It's back towards the middle. It came from Shaw. Picking up handball, Arthurson, but turn it straight over. And a kick forward by Doyle inside 50. And there's a whistle on play here. It'll be a free kick or a mark. Brendan McCormack.
Yeah, it's a free kick.
It's a free kick too high.
Certainly came across, Jim.
Yeah. Adrian
Yes.
Burgle will have the kick, I'd say, Justin.
Yes.
Okay, so Burgill to get it. And there may be a 25 here. Is he just checking the mark, Jim?
No, he's just going to make sure the player knows where the mark is, so it's no 25, Justin.
Hope you're enjoying it. GB Radio, Knox FM. Fantastic team on board today. Brendan McCormack, Jim Dowsley, Mark Evans and Geoff Ward at boundary line. We'll go down to them in just a minute. And, of course, our very own Jeffrey Dowling. Here's Burgill from about 45 directly in front. First score of the game coming up, and it's a big score because he's got the goal. The kid who's been in form in the last 4 or 5 weeks, all the way from Mafra. Young Adrian Burgill gets the first one of the afternoon, and Vermont are up and flying. Brendan McCormack.
Yeah, no, looking good early. Looks as if Hotton's going to do the majority of the ruck work, which is, pretty tough on him. He's not a natural ruckman, I would suggest, but, they're going to stick with him. Pull the hands in there so they can rotate a few players on Brad Neal and guys like that.
Let's see how we go with Geoff Ward now. You there, Geoff?
Yes, Justin, you picked up. We've got a better position here. Good goal to Burgill. Good start for Vermont.
We'll come back to you in just a moment. Mark Evans is with you also today. Kick out of the middle, long Williamson. High towards half forward. Dean waited underneath it. Free spurter comes to Jackavu. Loves to run. Swings around on the right boot. Goes long inside 50. Williams behind. Couldn't get there. Ball Dwyer away. Playing defensively today. Andrew Harp Dwyer. And he sees it to the outer side. Left half back boundary throw. And very good afternoon to Mark Evans.
Yeah, thanks, Justin. I guess it's pretty important now that East Burwood get their first goal on the board so that they can rally after that first goal to Vermont.
Gee, we're sitting here with 2 First Division coaches, gentlemen. I'm sure they would love to be out there today. Ball comes in, outer side, plenty of players around it again. Edwards bundled off it, crashing through. Richardson showing some class. He got a little handball to Coughlin, who got a kick to half forward. Coming through, though. Doyle, high ball for Vermont, back towards Burgill.
Fantastic.
Chiggies!
Well, the kid can jump, can't he? What a fantastic mark. He's kicked a goal and he's taken a screamer. Adrian Burgill goes long inside 50 again. In front, no mark taken. That was Hall. It spills to Morrison. It spills to Morrison. Open goal. He's missed. Minor score, 1-1-7 Vermont. He's built yet to score. Here's Brendan McCormack on GB Radio and Knox FM.
Yeah, Burgle, what an excellent starter. Fine grab there. And it looks like the conditions are set for some spectacular marks and some skills.
Geoff Dowling, early stats.
Early stats, let's have a look. Inside 40s, 2 apiece. Free kicks, 4 to Vermont, 1 to East Burwood.
Kick to come out. Coughlin will bring it wide towards the broadcast side, and Hotton, fantastic mark. Got a little handball away. Now the Rams run it from left half back towards centre wing. Well done, Rod Grinter. And he's sporting a fair sort of head of hair now, isn't he, Rod Grinter? Saw him earlier on in the year. He had the old number 1. He gets a kick long inside 50. Plenty of flies from the side. Was Houlihan at the back. There's O'Dwyer. Turned it over. Jackavu trying to chase it down. Now Dwyer picks it up. Plenty of experience there. He got a long handball to Smith. This is Matt Smith from left half back to centre wing. Good work, Vermont. They've got it centre wing. Outer side. Up towards left half forward. Morrison there again. Jason Coughlin from behind. What a great matchup. There's Derek Coughlin. Little give. Arthurson under pressure. Ball knocked wide. Coming in to pick it up. Richardson. Handball back. Coughlin wide. Williamson. So they're just poking it around Brendan McCormack, but they've got the numbers there.
Yeah, certainly are. I mean, just the pressure. They're going to have to keep the pressure on Vermont's backline here, the forwards from East Burwood.
Great pick up. Justin Witcher at right half forward. He goes long looking for the tall timber. Tennant got hands to it at the back. Couldn't pull down the mark. A lot of players wearing long sleeves today. Tennant and Houlihan prominent up in the forward line. Wind at the bottom of the pack. Down on the boundary line. Here's Geoff Ward and Mark Evans.
Yeah, thanks, Justin. Yeah, good start to Vermont, but East Burwood attacking. Wind seems to have died down a little bit. You can probably score at either end, as Vermont have shown.
Ball down inside 50. Eastburwood into attack. Tennant doing the ruck work with Neil. He won it down to Rowe. Rowe, little kick out, but only as far as Jackavu. Creates a bit of space. Handball to Arthurson. Bends it around the boundary line. Alistair Williams couldn't take the mark. And it's out of play. Umpire Jason Kennedy there. And Jim Dowsley, as you said earlier on, he's had a wonderful season, hasn't he?
Yeah, he's one of the fittest down there, and you'll see Jason Kennedy run this game right out to the finish.
Some more stats with Geoff Dowling in just a moment. Ball comes in right forward pocket. Houlihan loves to grab it out of the ruck and does, but turns it over to Dwyer. Short kick only as far as Cameron Dean, who marks about 45 metres out. He's had a wonderful season.
One guy got him going last week, Justin, despite Cameron Dean.
He's just... he's probably had his best season at the club, I would say.
Yeah.
Let's see what he can do on this occasion. Certainly likes his chances. Great crowd on the outer side. In he comes, Dean, from about 48 metres long goal. Sensational stuff from Cameron Dean, and the Rams have their first. Vermont 1-1-7, Eastburwood 1 straight goal on GB Radio Knox FM. Here's Geoff Dowling.
Yeah, thanks very much, Justin. Well, 2 goal kickers today, of course, Burgill, 3.5-minute mark, and now Dean at the 8-minute mark of this term. Eastburwood actually were able to hold the ball inside their zone, or the 40-metre arc, for about 2 minutes then, and of course they got the result there with that great goal to Dean.
With his thoughts, here's Mark Evans.
Yeah, not a bad start, not a bad kick there from wide out in the boundary line, and I think they're going to move forward again out of the ruck here. So back to you, Justin.
Dean got it to Richardson, handball over the top. He drew one and found Houlihan.
Well
Space
done.
at 50.
Good
Kick was
smother.
actually smothered off the boot. Very well done. Wind couldn't gather at about 35 out. It spills down. Jackavu twisting, turning, bends it around. He's got it. He's got it, Andrew Jackavu. He was sick last week, but I tell you what, he's on the mend today. What a fantastic goal, and they've got their second, Geoff Dowling.
Yeah, inside 45 seconds, that one, Justin. Just 8 minutes, 45 seconds gone. Second goal on the board to East Burwood. And I tell you what, you love calling Jackavu, don't you?
Yeah, Jackavu, great play. With his thoughts, here's Brendan McCormack.
Yeah, certainly the important clearance there from the middle got him going, and that's going to be the key today. If whoever clears it out of the middle the most time presents the scoring shots, and away they go. So back to you, mate.
2 scoring shots apiece. East Burwood lead by 5 points. Houghton in the ruck wins it down again. Running through Edwards, long from 60, long, and it's wide. Out of play. Was that a torpedo, or I don't know what it was in the end, was it?
It was a torp. See the way it just spiraled through the air. Every revolution you could see the Collex hippo coming round to smile at you.
Spinning around, well done. Ball out wide to the outer side. Hot, sensational mark, not paid at the back. We'll ask Jimmy for his thoughts as the ball socked to centre wing outer side. Was it Mark, Jim?
No, I think it just spilled. He didn't control it.
We can't argue today, can we, Brennan?
He's looking after his mates. He's looking after his mates.
No, we can't argue today. We've got one of the best up in here in the commentary box with us. Centre wing outer side, boundary throw in East Burwood, 2 straight goals, 12. Vermont 1-1-7. The crowd is just enormous.
It's fantastic, isn't it? Talk about supporting local footy. I reckon get rid of all those cars out there. You could fit another 5,000 in here.
Ball comes in. Here's Cullen, base of the pack. Neil, fist towards the line. Richardson to keep it in. Reese, hard pressure, did very well. I'll tell you what, Richardson is really pumped up for this game. He did say to me during the week that he felt this would be his last today.
Last game. It'd be nice to go with the premiership, wouldn't it?
Absolutely. Centre wing outer side, boundary throw in. East Burwood by 5 points. Houghton grabs it in front of Neil. Could have got one across the shoulder. The umpire let it go as Dean is tackled by Reese. And I'll tell you what, Brendan McCormack, Trent Houghton, doing pretty well on Brad Neal at the moment.
Yeah, he's a class act, Trent Houghton. He virtually last couple of weeks over the final series, he's rucked most of the day, so he'll be right to go all day, I suggest.
Ball down at centre wing outer side. Neil got a hand on it first on this occasion. Dean, a little handball out, but here come the Eagles through Matt Smith from centre wing outer side. He goes inside 50. Hall's got the sit, and he's got the mark. He's got a sensational mark, Brad Hall. He had the sit on Darren Shaw, body on body, put the arm out, and he's taken a very classy mark. And Brad Hall, this kid can play, can't he?
Yeah, he certainly can. I mean, it's a little bit of a mismatch there. Shaw, probably the tallest defender for East Burwood, but Brad Hall is a big man. And they drive the ball down like that, he's going to be hard to beat.
Probably appreciate me calling him a kid too. Geoff Dowling.
I was just going to say, just before he comes in, Jimmy Dowsley, a bit of a push and a shove there. What does the umpire say?
Yeah, he would have came in, he controlled the situation. He obviously deemed that it was in the action and not too late. So he would have tried to settle him down.
And just said, all right, fellas, get on with it.
Yep,
okay.
Good umpiring.
Brad Hall lining up. 30 metres out, slight angle. Vermont's second goal won't be coming from that kick because it's out of bounds on the full. How'd you see that one, Mark Evans? I'll tell you what, it wasn't too dead-eye on that occasion.
No, Justin, I would have expected Brad to do better than that. I mean, he's had some AFL experience and he probably should have done better with that kick.
Thanks, Mark. East Burwood send it long, centre wing, broadcast side off hands. Here's Arthurson, loves to run. He kicks it long inside 50, bouncing ball. Grinter gathers, unselfishly bends it back. Tennant couldn't quite get there at half forward. Dean crashes through Lamprell, well done. The experienced former Melbourne player. He kicks long to half forward. Up they go, Burgill flies at the back. Nielsen takes the mark in front, and Chad Nielsen. What a wonderful couple of years that kid's had too, Chad Nielsen. Great player. He kicks wide to Paul Arthurson out of play. Here's Geoff Ward on GB Radio on Knox FM.
Thanks, Justin. Just interesting note, East Burwood have set Rod Grinner up in the forward pocket alongside Stuart Wind and playing Tennant further up the ground at centre half forward alongside Houlihan.
Thanks, Geoff. Down at ground level today, Geoff Ward and Mark Evans. Matt Smith, little kick away to the outer side. Nielsen into meet it. Off the boot and wide and out of play again. Heading down to about halfway through the first quarter. 2 straight goals, East Burwood. Vermont 1-1-7. Here's Brendan McCormack.
Yeah, as probably thought that Houghton would be tagged by Lamprell. Lamprell's tagging Houlihan. Been a bit quiet at the start here, Houlihan.
Morrison marks at left half forward for Vermont from the boundary throw-in. He'll put it up inside 50. Mazzins, Slater. Mazzins has got it. Great work. Slater, body on body. There's a little bit after it, and 25. So Slater being brought back. There's umpire Jimmy Dowsley with his thoughts on that one.
Yeah, well, that was Slater coming in too late and carrying on with it for too long, and was correctly awarded the 25 because of that undisciplined play.
Yeah, I agree. Fair enough. Slater certainly wanted to go on with it, but you can't take away from the fact that David Mazzins, who's been struggling for form a little bit lately, that was a very good mark, Brendan McCormack.
Yeah, it certainly was. I think David would be happy with the 25-metre penalty. He should kick that. He's not the best of kicks, so I think he'd be pretty happy with that.
So you won't miss from here. Dead in front, Canterbury Road end. Mazzins, bang, straight through the middle. The crowd erupts, and Vermont get their second. 2-1-13. East Burwood, 2 straight goals, 12. Here's Geoff Dowling.
Yeah, that goal coming at the 13.5-minute mark of this first term. So Vermont's 2 goals at the 3.5-minute mark, 13.5-minute mark, and for East Burwood at the 8-minute mark and virtually just on the 9-minute mark.
Let's go down to the boundary line with his thoughts. Here's Mark Evans.
Well, if you have a look at the way East Burwood have set up their forward line, they're pushing 2 and 3 back into the square and leaving a lot of space, whereas Vermont are having a little bit more of a spread around there. So wherever the ball goes in the Vermont forward line, there is a marking opportunity. So 2 different forward lines, maybe due to the slight breeze that's out there at the moment.
And Geoff Ward, you're right down there in the middle of this huge crowd, down in on the boundary line there in front of everyone. What's the feeling like at the moment? It's a massive crowd.
It is a massive crowd, Justin. It's really built up. Pretty quiet at the moment. Just waiting to start. I'm sure they'll liven up as the day goes on. The contest gets a lot closer in the second half, but a terrific crowd.
Ball back in the middle. Thanks, gentlemen. Up they go. Houghton won it down. Kicked forward out of the middle. Vermont scrambled it towards centre half forward. Morrison held it, then lost it. Williamson with the pressure. Morrison handball deflected down. Williamson in after it again. Matt Smith picks up centre wing outer side. Got it to Cullen. Cullen, that's Brad, gets it wide to Andrew Smith at left half forward. He loves to run and kick a goal, but he'll kick short inside 50. The target coming out was Hall. Chipping back though, Witcher. Courageous, takes a good mark, and they can switch play to Trent Houghton at left half back. He'll run through the middle and bomb it long to the 50. Long kick from Houghton, getting back Jackavu. Jackavu trying to pick up off the bounce, coming through. Williams does well. It's forced down by Power. Power hands and knees over it, and umpire Mark Lawson will come in for a bounce about 40 metres out. Here's Brendan McCormack.
Yeah, just one thing I pick up is that whether Brad Neal can keep up with Trent Houghton. He seems to be, like as I said, he's not a noted ruckman, but his ground coverage is excellent. So I don't know whether Brad Neal would be able to go with him for the whole game.
40 metres out, East Burwood into attack. O'Dwyer won it down over Williams. Running to meet it though, Jackavu back from illness, and he's had a few early touches. He loses out to Mark Cullen on this occasion. EFL and state rep at 99. Mark Cullen bends it around towards left half forward. Nielsen in to meet it for the Rams, will want the boundary line, and he finds it. On GB Radio and Knox FM, here's Geoff Dowling.
Yeah, Geoff, can you move that mosquito away from your microphone for a start? Please, let's just have a look at some early stats. Inside 40s, 5 Vermont, 6 East Burwood, and free kicks. 4 and a 25-metre penalty, which resulted in a goal to Vermont and 2 to East Burwood.
Rams away from half-back. Slater did well in amongst it. Williamson got a kick in towards the middle. Houlihan won't beat Cullen to the punch, but he will go over the top with the tackle, and there's no doubt about that one, Jim Dowsley.
Absolutely, right in front of the umpire too. He couldn't have missed that one, and he didn't.
Too high. It'll come back, just backward of the centre circle. 2-12, 2 straight goals, 12 East Burwood. Vermont 2-1-13 on the new scoreboard here at Bayswater. As Cullen about to take the kick. through the middle. Short option is on and taken. That's Andrew Smith. Jason Coughlin right beside him. Andrew Smith will look inside 50. Hall should be up there, so too Mazzins. In they come, up they go, and Houghton takes the mark. Well, is that a wonderful start, Brendan McCormack?
Yeah, certainly has. He's just a class act, this guy. You know, as you said, a rep footballer this year, and he's carrying on his good form. Many
are tipping he'll be drafted in November too, so we'll wait on that one. Long kick, and Tennant just waiting back. It was well weighted. Houghton thumped it long. Tennant in the middle of the ground. Wants to play on. The handball certainly wasn't the best option. He went for Coughlin, who eventually was...
Advantage.
Yeah, tackled high. Kick inside 50. Edwards right there for East Burwood. Handball. Houlihan, he loves this. He bends it around. He's got it. He loves them like that, Damien Houlihan. It started from, well, almost turning it over in the middle. Nick Tennant resulted in a free kick and advantage paid. East Burwood got it down inside 50, and Houlihan gets the goal on GB Radio and Knox FM. Here's Brendan McCormack.
Yeah, no, it was good work there. Nick Tennant recovered pretty well. Lucky free kick there, probably through the middle, but they moved it on quickly through Richardson, and an excellent goal. And
umpire Jim Dowsley, they were certainly onto it, and quickly the advantage was paid.
Yeah, it was a good advantage by Jason. He saw where the ball went and played it immediately.
3 straight goals, 18 East Burwood, Vermont 2-1-13. There's Jason Kennedy in the middle, bouncing it down. Houghton may have just won it over Neil. Morrison couldn't take it with him. Edwards thumped it onto Richardson. Little handball looking for Dean, hands and knees. He got back to his feet quickly. He sold a pretty poor handball to Houghton, but they force it forward. Dean well tackled by Neil, and you're gone. You are gone, Cameron Dean. Brad Neil gets the free kick. He wanted to come wide. Now he elects to go to the outer side. Has a player on there in Lamprell. Handball over the top to Matt Smith. Smith had to wait, now has to go back by hand to Lamprell, who should have bombed long the first time. He does the second time towards Hall. In amongst a couple, Nielsen set himself in front. Coughlin overran it. Ball with Reese towards the line. Is it kept in by Bain? No, it's not. Boundary throw in left forward pocket. Down at the boundary line, here's Geoff Ward.
To Hula by Trent Houghton from that.
Can't quite pick you up there, Geoff. You're going to have to find a better position again, mate.
Yeah, we'll come back to you. We know you've got a lot of people around you there. Morrison, little kick around the body. Rowe, long way up the ground. And I tell you what, that's a pretty good snapshot for goal. From the left forward pocket, he has got it. Lee Rowe, a long way up the ground, Brendan McCormack, and that was a fantastic effort.
Yeah, no, look, their back line is a key for Vermont. They just all take off. O'Dwyer, they all run. Lamprell and Lee Rowe, you know, half-back flanker, bit on ball, but they just run and...
Good skills, Lee Rowe, isn't he?
Yeah, excellent finisher.
Ball coming back to the middle. Let's cross down to Geoff Ward and Mark Evans.
Yes, down here on the boundary line, certainly the crowd are starting to get very involved in this game. The pace has been pretty good. Both sides have got 3 goals each, so it's looking like it'll build into a crackerjack game today.
3-1-19 to 3 straight goals, 18. Vermont lead by 1 point. Ball back in the middle. Heading down towards quarter time. Excellent start to the 99 grand final. Ball down. Rowe, in fact, is in the middle now. Brendan McCormack, keep an eye on him. He may be playing on Dean. Dean trying to go through. Picked up by Neil. Little kick wide. Smith, who's had a few important touches for Vermont on that outer side wing, will have to chase down Jackavu, and he does. And he sees the ball over the line for a boundary throw-in.
Free kick, I think, Justin.
Okay, interesting. It was dropping the ball, was it? Yes, it was.
Yes.
Smith to take it. Outer side, left half back. Looking. He now goes off the right boot towards Neil, centre wing, who just scrambles the mark inside the boundary line. So Neil to go back. Interesting matchup on Houghton today. Good handball to Morrison. Morrison away now. From left half forward, he goes inside 50. Mazzins with the sit. He's got the mark. Gee, started all right today, David Mazzins. Couple of good marks. He's already kicked 1 goal. Let's get some early stats with Geoff Dowling.
Yeah, it was a good goal he kicked earlier on as well. Okay, let's have a look. Inside 40s.
We'll come back to you. He's gone for goal and he sent it wide now to bounds on the full. No, it's bounced in the pocket and stayed in. Reese picks it up. Handball looking for Hall. Reese back after it. Nummy also there. Slater handball wide. They should come away through Witcher. He'll bend it back towards halfback, and he's got Nielsen.
Whoops.
In fact, Arthurson it was, who couldn't take the mark. Grinter assists and get a kick up towards half forward. Wind the target. Power there with him. Picking up is O'Dwyer. Handball over the top, and he turned it over to Edwards. His kick was smothered. Falling down to Todd Power through the middle. Handball to Smith. Unleashes Matt Smith from the centre square. He goes long, top of the goal square. Shaw got there. It's knocked through to come back.
Paid the mark.
Yeah, it'll come back for a mark. Reese was away in the goal square. It'll be a mark. Quickly on those stats again, Geoff. Sorry.
Okay, sorry, that's quite okay. Inside 40s, we've got 9 to Vermont and 16 to Burwood. And free kicks, we have got 7 to Vermont with the 25-metre penalty and 2 to East Burwood.
Ball still inside 50 and holding the ball
Against Richardson.
Be a free kick to Vermont. Just quickly, Carlton leading Essendon 32 to 14. Preliminary final. So that's interesting. Jimmy Dowsley's obviously a Carlton supporter, right?
No, Western Bulldogs tonight.
Ball here with Aaron Nummy from 50 metres. He got the free kick. He's going to go with the torpedo. It won't make the distance. It'll land at the top of the goal square. Houghton there to fist it away. Witcher will run onto it defensively. He steps back around Lee Rowe. Cuts in a little right foot kick to the running Derek Coughlin at half back. Coughlin looks long towards half forward. 10 at the target. Over the back, O'Dwyer fisted it down. Plenty of Eagles around. Cullen, handball wide to Lamprell. Centre wing out of side. Lamprell goes up to Rowe, who is all by himself. And Lee Rowe will run around. No, he won't. He's called to play on. He gets his kick to half forward. Houghton in front, Mazzins with the push,
well done.
and the umpire saw it, and away comes Houghton. Kick back towards the middle. The target was Grinter. Doyle couldn't take it for Vermont. Mark Cullen's there. Handball through some traffic. Jacovu tries to slap it on towards Edwards. He can't take it. Edwards with the tackle in the middle. Over the top of O'Dwyer. It spills to Williams. Alistair Williams long for East Burwood to left half forward. Houlihan keeps it in play. No, he doesn't. 50 metres around, boundary throw in. 1 point margin, Vermont lead. Here's Brendan McCormack.
Yeah, both back lines are holding out pretty well at the moment. They both create plenty of run and they change direction, so both working pretty hard at this stage.
Ball comes in, 50 metres around. Edwards gathered but had his kick smothered. It's inside 50 now. Power gathers. Todd Power creates some space and bends it back around, but only as far as Grinter. 60 metres from goal, Rod Grinter.
24 minutes gone.
Let's see what he can do. Rod Grinter goes towards the goal square. Up they go. Houlihan at the back's got it. Yes, he has. And he's paid the mark. Damien Houlihan, it'll come back. He's got the mark. People were shouting and yelling that maybe it was the player in front, Todd Power, but Houlihan's been paid, Jim Dowsley.
Well, you could just see at the back there, one pair of hands clearly went up and grabbed it, and it was clearly Houlihan, so it's a great mark.
So Houlihan to line up.
For his second.
From left forward pocket, Damien Houlihan. Let's see what he can do for East Burwood. They currently trail by a point. Long time over the ball, 45-degree angle. Houlihan, the crowd just starting to jeer him. Gee, he's taken a long time, hasn't he? In he comes now. Houlihan for 2, he's got it. Straight through the middle. And East Burwood have their fourth, 4-1-25, leading, 4 straight 24, leading Vermont 3-1-19. Here's Geoff Dowling.
Yes, Houlihan's second there. His first goal he kicked at the 17.5-minute mark, and of course now kicking that one at the 24.5-minute mark. So 2 goals against his name.
Brendan McCormack, your thoughts heading down to quarter time?
Yeah, my thoughts are that I think I said earlier in the game that he started pretty slow. He's away with 2 goals in the first quarter, so I'd say he'd be pretty happy with me. His comments.
We're just about to get rid of that mosquito that's buzzing around. Here's Jeff Ward and Mark Evans down at ground level.
You better take it back. Now, here we are. We're back on now. I think now that Houlihan's moved off of Lamprell and gone down to full forward, he's certainly created a headache. But if I was Vermont, I'd be doing something about Trent Houghton, who just seems to have a bit...
Okay, thanks, Mark. We'll head back to you shortly. It's pretty hard to find a spare space at the moment. Ball back in the middle. Mark Lawson bounced down, heading down towards quarter time. Neil Houghton won it down. Dean crashing through again. Gee, he's been good early, Cameron Dean. He kicks inside 50. He's got Houlihan. Cameron Dean has just been electric in the middle, and especially those centre bounces, and with a dead set straight pass to Damien Houlihan, he's hit him. Brendan McCormack.
Yeah, look, this could be a bit of a mismatch for Vermont. They may have to look at someone like Todd Power going back on to Houlihan. I mean, Todd Power's a great defender, probably their best defender, so you may as well put your best player on, East Burwood's best player.
Williams off and Sassman on as well for East Burwood.
Thanks, Jim. Here goes Houlihan for goal number 3 in the opening quarter. 45 out, great kick. Great kick, and he raises both hands. He likes it, and the goal umpire says, why shouldn't you? Well done. Another goal to East Burwood. Houlihan has 3. The Rams have 5 straight goals, 30. Vermont 3-1-19, heading down to quarter time. Here's Geoff Dowling.
Yes, here I am. And free kicks, we'll just revisit those, and we will tell you that Vermont have got 8 with a 25-metre penalty. Funnily enough, East Burwood only 2.
Ball coming back to the middle with his thoughts, Brendan McCormack.
Yeah, I think Vermont just got to get that ball out of the middle there. Maybe even as an option, maybe Brad Neal, down to full forward, a taller option down there.
11-point margin. East Burwood lead. Quarter time, sorry, not too far away. Houghton won it down again, but on this occasion, Cameron Dean wasn't there. Cameron Bain was.
27 minutes gone.
Bain goes to right half forward. Andrew Smith taken out in a collision. Ball towards the line and over. Boundary throw in right half forward for Vermont.
Runner goals in the first quarter. Vermont, East Burwood, East Burwood, Vermont, East Burwood, Vermont, and the last 2 going the way of East Burwood.
Andrew Smith still down behind play in the hands of the trainers, just getting back to his feet now. Ball to come in. Houghton in front. Got a hand to it. Morrison, little kick forward, inside 50, bouncing ball towards the line and over. Here's Brendan McCormack on GB Radio on Knox FM.
Just wondering if these coaches are wired up, mate, because they've already made that move. Toddy Power and Houlihan.
They may be. That might be causing the buzz coming through at the moment. Might
exactly.
be them wide up. Ball comes in. 45 metres around. Neal grabs it out of the ruck. Shot towards goal. Cullen's marked it in the right forward pocket. Brad Cullen's taken the mark in the right forward pocket. Alan Richardson is marking the mark on the goal line between the goal post and the point post, saying bring him around, umpire, on an angle. Interesting, wasn't a bit of experience there from Alan Richardson.
Yeah, he knows all the tricks of the trade, I'd say.
I think he's just asking the umpire to put him over the fence if he can.
I was going to say him in the car park on that angle.
Brad Cullen tucked inside the right forward pocket. Difficult, runs around, bends it around on the right boot, and we'll wait on the goal umpire. It's a point. Minor score. Vermont 3-2-20. East Burwood 5 straight goals, 30. It's a 20-point margin. Geoff Dowling, some stats.
Thank you, Justin. Let's have a look at, what can we look at now? Inside 40s, Vermont 11, East Burwood 6. So Vermont have been up there plenty of times, and East Burwood are making the most of their opportunities when they are up there.
Ball to come in. Coughlin looks up towards the left half-back flank. The target getting back was Slater, fisted away by Mazins. Ball out of play, so boundary throw-in. Vermont still have it across half-forward. They trail by 10 points. With his thoughts, hopefully getting some air regard out there, get this mosquito away. Brendan McCormack.
Yeah, I mean, look, the game's certainly in the balance. As it was pointed out at the start of the game, there was a bit 2-goal breeze going towards East Burwood's end, so Vermont, I wouldn't think, would be too distressed at this stage.
East Burwood will run it away from half-back. Richardson goes in towards the middle. Sassman fresh onto the ground. Should have probably taken that mark.
It's a siren.
But the siren has sounded. Pretty quiet, isn't it, the siren here?
Yeah.
1-point margin in the reserves earlier on. East Ring would have got home, and in the Colts earlier this morning, East Burwood won the 99 premiership over Vermont. Quarter time here, East Burwood 5 straight goals, 30, are leading Vermont 3-20. That's set for a start to the second quarter of the 1999 First Division Senior Grand Final. East Burwood lead by 10 points at quarter time. Houlihan, the major goal kicker. Geoff, he has
three against his name. Yes, the picket fence is growing.
It certainly is. Ball to go down in the middle with umpire Mark Lawson, who's got the first bounce again. How does that work out?
Yeah, you have the first 2 bounces of the first 2 quarters, and then Jason Kennedy will do the second half.
Gee, I never knew that. Okay, learn something new every day. Even on grand final day. Cullen got a little handball out of the middle. Richardson stands tall at half-back though for his Burwood and sends a kick wide to centre wing. Here's Jackavu. Right there with him is Hall. Hall got it and showed a bit of pace in the end too to get away from Jackavu. Cullen, short kick up towards Matt Smith. Been very prominent early. Don't forget, best on ground today. Huge prizes. We'll go through that in a moment. Matt Smith gets onto a long one in towards the pocket and a very good mark under pressure.
Well done.
Fantastic.
I'll tell you what, it was a wobbly old kick off the boot, wasn't it? But gee whiz, great pace to get the ball there.
Yeah, it is. It's Lampool left
and
forward
getting
pocket.
pulled back as well.
So you'll get a goal out of this, Andrew Lampool, and I've got a feeling it may have been Lucas Slater who just gave away the 25 again.
I think he stood on him, I think.
I think it happened just after he took the mark. Luke must have thought he needed to earn it a bit more and transgressed.
So that's 2 25s that Slater's given away in this game? Okay, fair enough. In comes Lamprell, point blank range, straight through the middle. Vermont get the first of the second quarter, and they move to 4-2-26. East Burwood a 5 straight 30. Best on ground today, Geoff Dowling. They will pick up a fantastic cordless power drill from Arlec, our good friends at Arlec.
I'll tell you what, those people at Arlec are very good. I won't say they're absolutely fantastic, but they are very good.
He's looking for something for Christmas. Of course, Juice, we've got some great vouchers from there. Club Kilsyth, a wonderful dinner for 2, and also some vouchers from the Wild West Saloon. $400 in prizes to our best on ground today.
And you just distracted me, Justin. Who kicked that goal?
That goal was kicked by Andrew Lamprell.
Oh, I thought that's what you said.
Courtesy of your free kick. With his thoughts is Brendan McCormack.
Yeah, good start to Vermont, exactly what they wanted, and it's been pointed out there's a slight breeze going that way, so it's a good start.
I shouldn't say free kick because he took the mark first, didn't he? Out of the middle, Bain, handball, Hall. There's players falling down everywhere. Hall goes in towards the pocket. Lamprell's there again. I tell you what, there's a lot of holding there.
It's going to be going the other way this time.
Advantage this time.
A free kick and advantage to East Burwood. Coughlin brings it wide to Coughlin. That's Jason to Derek. 96 league best and fairest. Derek Coughlin brings it to centre wing. Slater from the side. Tennant from the front. Tennant got hands to it. Rowe, little kick was smothered down. Here comes Arthurson. Got a little chip kick towards right half forward. Bounce favours Houlihan. Handball to Jackavu from 50. Open goal. Jackavu. No. Just bounces wide. Minus score. And the first minus score for East Burwood today. 5-1-31. Vermont 4-2-26. And Jackavu looking good off the right half-forward flank. Plenty of dash. You were waiting for it, Geoff, weren't you?
Oh, I've been waiting for the Jackavu call all day.
Kick comes in. Mark Cullen takes it.
You love a good name, Justin. You love a good name.
He's become one of the best back pocket players in the league, hasn't he, Mark Cullen?
It's very handy.
Gets a kick to centre wing. Tennant forced to punch.
well
Morrison,
done.
sensational handball to Brad Neal through some traffic. Neal, long high kick to left half forward. Slater, 1 grab, 2, takes the mark. Let's go down to Geoff Ward and Mark Evans.
Yeah, great body work there. Mazins and Slater, 2 of the strongest blokes out there. Good duel.
Thanks very much, Mark Evans, down on boundary line for us on GB Radio Knox FM today. Ball at centre wing here. O'Dwyer takes the mark. Handball away to Mark Cullen, who's decked. And there's a bit behind play. Houlihan, Brad Neal. It is downfield, Jim Dowsley.
Against Houlihan.
No doubt about that one.
He came in a bit too late. He disposed of the ball, and that's why the free kick's been paid on that occasion.
Emergency umpire.
We've seen the emergency umpire a lot, Jim, in coming out during the finals. What's his role?
His role is to come out when there's ever a confrontation between players, and that allows the 2 field umpires to get on with the game and just concentrate on the job at hand.
Fair enough.
Downfield's gone to Andrew Smith, who lines up from about 57 metres out, edge of the square, and I'll tell you what, where's he kicked that one? He was obviously going for distance, Brendan McCormack, because he's missed everything by about 25
I think he was
metres.
going for the back of that little Land Rover or Nimbus or whatever it is with the door open over there. I think that's where he was going.
He almost got it too.
And I'll tell you what, wasn't too bad.
31 plays 26. East Burwood up by 5 points. Boundary throw-in. Right forward pocket, as I said, about 25 metres around. Hot and 1 it down. Slater's held up by Mazins. Tries to slap it off at ground level, but he's paid, dropping the ball up by Jason Kennedy. And Luke Slater certainly hasn't been on the right end of the umpire so far today.
No, he's having a tough trot, isn't he, Luke? But he just grabbed it, and Jason Kennedy on that occasion deemed he had a prior opportunity to get rid of it, and he didn't, and that's why he paid the holding the ball.
As a player, Brendan McCormack, would you be what would you be thinking once the whistle goes and you look up and you see the umpire go with the big swoosh with the arms, mate?
Can I repeat this? No, look, it was the free kick's been paid now. There's not much you can do about it, but you know, it was probably a little bit quick. But anyway, he's kicked the goal, and away they go again, Vermont.
Yes, David Mazins has got it. That's his second today, Geoff, David Mazins. So he's got 2.
Monday.
And Vermont, Brendan McCormack, have started a lot better in this second quarter. They now take the lead 5-2 to 5-1.
Yeah, certainly have. You know, guys, Brad Hall's getting involved. The Cullen boys are getting involved in Mazins has started well. So, you know, they're all starting to pick up the tempo a bit now.
With his thoughts, here's former Premiership Croydon coach Mark Evans.
Yeah, not a bad start there by Vermont. They'd have to be pretty happy with that. And I think now the questions being asked of East Burwood early in the game, what are they going to do to respond here? You know, how they need a couple of their settled heads now to make sure that they get the next goal.
And Geoff Ward, I don't know if you can notice it, mate, but it's a real hush amongst the crowd, isn't it?
Certainly is. I think of anticipation because Vermont are right back in this game. A good start to the second quarter.
Oh, Trent Houghton out of the middle. Eventually comes to Alistair Williams from half forward. He kicks inside 50. Houlihan! Oh, he's doing it on the bit today, isn't he? He's kicked 3. He's taken a couple of very good marks, and I'll tell you what, Andrew Dwyer has just got his hands full at the moment because this guy, Damien Houlihan, He's saving the best till last, isn't he? Grand final day, and he's putting on a show.
Matty Edwards on for Vermont, replacing Burgill.
Would you swap somebody on Houlihan at the moment, Bill, or not?
Yeah, look, I mean, I'd certainly be looking at Todd Power to put on Houlihan, and maybe Dwyer go back onto Wine. Wine's been a little bit quiet, so it may be the matchup Vermont are looking for.
So he must be swirling around the breeze down there at the moment, because Houlihan's missed everything from 50. He's usually a pretty good kicker of the football. We'll ask the boys in just a moment if the wind has picked up down there.
During the lead-up games, Justin, that was not the goal scorer again.
Okay. Todd Power to bring it in. He'll be brought back around his mark. Tried to play on then Jimmy. Obviously, he's got to kick over the man on the mark.
Yeah, the East Burwood players pulled back 10 metres, so that means he's got to kick over that area.
Fair enough. Jim Dowsley joining GB Radio Knox FM this afternoon. We're going to call you the fourth umpire, but you're really the
actually the
2,
third,
4,
aren't I?
6, 7. You're really the eighth.
Oh,
aren't you?
that's probably right.
Ball to come in, out of side, it's out of play. Left half forward for East Burwood. They currently trail by 1 point. Second quarter of the 99 EFL Grand Final. Alistair Williams won it down. Morrison couldn't take it. Ball spills out the back. Grinter was there. He lost possession of it. Houghton going after it. He's been fantastic. Going in after it was Edwards. Ball shuffled out towards Rowe. Rowe had it, lost it, was held without it. Now Neal picks it up and he gets a clean kick to centre wing out of side. Richardson doubling back on it. Richardson overran it in the end, and Hall came through and picked it up. Dean holds him up in a good tackle and forces the turnover because Neal's handball went straight to Edwards, who kicks up inside 50. Wind was the target, couldn't take it. And Geoff Ward, correct me if I'm wrong, but is that rain starting to fall?
Certainly is, Justin. Yeah, light rain starting to fall here. And interesting to note, I think East Burwood would be reticent to take Power away from Wine because he's got the better of Wine so far, I think.
He's had the better of Wine
Rob
on a
Peter
number
to
of occasions.
pay Paul, isn't it?
Yeah, he's always done well on Stewie Wine. Here's Houlihan inside 50, twisting, turning from 40. He goes for goal. Don't tell me he's got his fourth. No, he hasn't. In fact, his last 2 kicks, Brendan McCormack, have been out of bounds on the full.
Yeah, just a little bit of pressure there by Vermont, and just off the side of the boot there and out of bounds on the full. But he's certainly a live wire Houlihan, and they're going to have to look at that matchup, Vermont.
5-2-32, 5-1-31. Vermont lead by 1 point. Gee, we've had 2 classic grand finals before this one today too. The Colts was only decided really in the last 4 or 5 minutes of the game.
The whole series has been fantastic.
Of course, the reserves was decided in the last, 20 seconds of the game. Cullen, centre wing, out of side. This is Brad, around Houlihan, got his kick. Around centre wing, out of side, Slater, Mazins just pushing Slater over the line for a boundary throw-in. Let's go down to Mark Evans with his thoughts.
Yes, now, Billy McCormack, I'm wondering whether you've actually thought about taking up coaching, because it just looks like Todd Power is now picking up Houlihan with Dwyer dropping back.
I'll tell you what, they're following all these leads. They are following all these leads.
Thanks very much, Mark. And Brendan, you can give the media away for another year, mate. You might be, of course you are, coaching next year with Doncaster East. Ball out of side, free kick, Jason Coughlin. Caught one too high, Jim Dowsley.
Yeah, just too high and paid to him out there.
Coughlin, long to half forward, out of side. Houlihan at the back. Power there also. O'Dwyer got a handball wide. Mazins kicked it up in the air. Mazins has obviously gone up into the ruck at the moment. Keep an eye on that one. Coming through, Jackavu, some space. Wanted some dash. Handball, Witcher. Got around Smith. Handball away. Arthurson, 30 out directly in front. Has kicked it. He has kicked it. And Jackavu, Geoff Dowling, that's Jackavu, started it 50 metres out, created a bit of room, and it ends up with another goal to East Burwood. Here's Brendan McCormack.
Yeah, an excellent finish there, Arthurson. He's worked his way down from the half-back flank to be on the end of it, and probably Smith could have done a little bit better with the tackle, but yeah, no, certainly the goal that East Burwood needed.
GB Radio Knox FM, here's Geoff Ward.
Thank you, Justin. Just an interesting note, I think the battle between Jackavu and Mark Cullen will go a long way to deciding this game.
You could be well right. Ball back in the middle. Neal wins it down. Reese held without it, and he's got the free kick, Jim Dowsley. Coughlin was all over him.
Yeah, he grabbed him in anticipation of him getting the ball, and he didn't actually get it, so he's got the free kick, Reese.
Paul Reese played with the Carlton Reserves earlier this year. Doesn't mind bleaching the hair every now and again, as you can see for our television viewers. He goes long, top of the goal square. No, Mark Houghton's there. He'll try and claim it. He's got it, has he? Gee, I tell you what, Trent Hotton's done well to come up with that. For mine, there was about 20 hands over that ball at one stage or another.
I won't comment on that one.
Witcher from the back pocket finds Edwards. Great young player. Edwards through the middle. Jackavu outstretched. Had it stolen by Cullen. Ball hits the turf. Coming up with it, Doyle. Long kick inside 50. Long inside 50. Brad Neal. Mark, not paid. Yes, it is.
Yes, it is. Yeah, Brad Hall.
Did he have it long enough? It was Brad Hall. I apologise. Did he have it long enough, Jim?
Yeah, I thought he came down with it and was controlling it, so paid the mark.
Got up high, didn't he? The big fella. He's been a wonderful player for Vermont. 6-1, 5-2. East Burwood lead by 5 points. Wouldn't it be great? And I know I've said it in many games this year, Geoff Dowling, when it's like this, if we could go goal for the whole game. It'd be fantastic,
I can't remember you saying that once.
Oh, I've said it a lot.
No, you have, mate. No, that's for sure.
Let's just hope so anyway.
Makes
Certainly,
great footy.
Yeah, this crowd would love it, wouldn't they? From about 45, Hall, Long has missed the lot. And that's the third or fourth time we've seen plays miss everything. Let's go down to Geoff Ward. What's the wind like down at ground level?
Seems to be from where we are, Justin. It's sort of a crosswind now. It's hard to pick up. Sort of definitely a swirly breeze. Maybe just favouring the end that Vermont are kicking to.
Mark, would they be difficult conditions to kick in at the moment down there?
Yeah, certainly, especially if you're trying to kick the ball from wide. I think it's going to be difficult to kick goals. I think you'll try and see quite a few players centering the ball, getting maximum opportunity to get towards the goal face.
Okay, thanks very much. Mark Evans and Geoff Ward down on the boundary line today.
Lost the ball for the time being.
They have.
Here it comes.
It's been dug out of the
It's
creek
not
over
in that.
the back.
It's not in the back of that bloke's car again.
That was a classic, actually.
Yeah, I
last
read
week.
that in the record. As always, a very good read.
Oh, that was a classic. 6-1-37 East Burwood, Vermont 5-2-32. Might hit you with some funny stories at half-time. There's been a few during the final series. Ball to the outer side, and that's a very good mark in front.
No, thanks, Justin. I've heard your funny stories, and they're not funny, so don't worry about it, mate.
Brad Hall, right half forward. He's taken a couple of good marks in the last minute or so. He kicks inside 50, and he's got Cullen. This is Brad, just inside 50, right half forward. Now, certainly the distance you would think would be a problem, Brendan.
Yeah, from there, certainly. I mean, you looked at the last kick, and he's going to struggle to make it from there. Probably prove me wrong here.
6-1 to 5-2. Brad Cullen gets onto it, sends it right to the goal square, and it's fisted through. No, over the back. Smith's got it. No, across the face. And it's kept in play. Mazins has hit the post. Gee, I tell you what, the ball just didn't want to go out of play. Firstly, Smith, when it was destined to be rushed through for a point, snap across goal, thought it was going to go out of bounds, and Mazins has picked it up and hit the post. So a minor score. That now takes Vermont to 5-3-33. East Burwood 6-1-37. We'll get some stats off Geoff Dowling in just a moment as Jason Coughlin kicks very wide. Edwards keeps it in play. And it comes up towards half-back dangerously because he's turned it over to Cameron Bain from 50. He goes back, he goes long, and he's off target. Richardson getting back takes the mark with some stats, says Geoff Dowling.
Inside 40s in this quarter, 4 Vermont, 3 East Burwood. Free kicks, 5 to Vermont with a 25-metre penalty that resulted in a goal, and 2 to East Burwood with one advantage.
And you're doing well to get through that cold you've got at the moment, mate. Ball.
Thank you so much.
Centre wing, outer side. Arthurson and Smith, that's Matt Smith. Now Houlihan comes in to help out Arthurson, and Houlihan's done well because he's rushed it up to left half forward. Arthurson knocked it onto Tennant, who handballed to Houlihan. On his left, he cuts it in low towards the pocket. Grinter picks up. He bends it around his body, bouncing ball in the goal square. Dwyer will run it through for a point. Gee, Houlihan is playing one hell of a game at the moment, Brendan McCormack.
Yeah, certainly is. I mean, he probably could have done a little bit better with that kick. He's just tried to drill it. He could have had a look a little bit further and had a shot at goal, I think.
15 minutes gone, second quarter, long kick out. Vermont to halfback, there's Houlihan again, great handball to Houghton. He kicks inside 50 through the hands of Dean. Coming out wide, gathers, back to goal. Handball away to Edwards, steadies from 35, he goals. He goals for East Burwood, they've got another one. 7-2-44, Vermont 5-3-33. Mark Evans for mine. Houlihan started that one again.
Houlihan's been involved in quite a few passages of play there, but I really think that Vermont have wasted a few opportunities over the last 10 minutes, and as you know, Billy, if you don't get those goals on the board when you've got the run of play, it can come back to haunt you if the opposition can kick one or two.
Yeah, certainly, They've just wanted a few opportunities, haven't they?
Thanks, Mark. Ball back in the middle. And a good little break here for East Burwood. Houghton has also been great. Handball to Edwards, handball to Witcher. They're away again inside 50. Going back, no mark taken. Power got the kick away, but only as far as Jacobu at half forward. 60 out. He goes long. Vacant goal square, but he'll go towards Wind, who got his hands to it. Dwyer there with him. Ball to ground. Dwyer picks up. Handball across the face of goal to Cullen. Houlihan with pressure, and the ball is out of play. Gee, I tell you what. Best on ground today, of course, Arlec, Juice, Wild West Saloon and Club Kilsyth looking after the best on ground today with $400 in prizes. Damien Houlihan putting his hand up at the moment. He's been fantastic. Ball comes in. Houlihan tried to grab it out of the ruck. Over the back. Coughlin, great handball. Dean, well tackled by Mark Cullen. Couldn't get a kick in the right forward pocket, but the umpire said you held him too long. He's got the free kick. It'll come back. Jim Dowsley, how did you see it?
Yes, I was out in the pocket there, and I think it was correctly paid by Jason Kennedy.
Just Cameron Dean was being held for too long?
Yes, that's right.
Okay, so Dean's got the free kick, right forward pocket. Mark Cullen standing the mark, and Brennan McCormack, East Burwood. This is a good little gap at the moment.
Yes, I mean, we talk about Houlihan, who's been fantastic, but you look at a guy who's just getting them going at the moment. Trent Houghton has been, his work rate is just sensational. Just clearing the ball from the middle, getting it down forward, and this could be another goal.
Right forward pocket, Cameron Dean, probably only about 4 or 5 metres out. The angle to contend with comes in, misses. He misses for a minor score. Now, a goal there would have taken the margin to 17 points. Instead, it's at 12 points. 7-3-45 East Burwood. Vermont 5-3-33. Boundary line, Geoff Ward will come.
Well, on for Aranami for Vermont, Justin.
Thanks very much. Ball to centre wing. Broadcast side, Bain. Handball to Smith. Under pressure from Nielsen. Over the top. Runner coming through, Edwards. Got a handball back to Matt Smith. Upended by Shaw. Free kick advantage paid. Cullen for goal. Is close. It's wide and fisted through by Slater. Minor score. 5-4-34. East Burwood 7-3-45.
Well, I think we may have a free kick back here.
back.
Mark Lawson stopping the play. I'm not sure if he's just chatting to the player, Justin,
No,
or he's
you're
actually awarding a free
It
kick.
looks like he's lining it up, doesn't he?
Yeah, it's coming
Yeah.
back. You're right. So the score won't count. 7-3 to 5-3. And it'll be Brad Cullen to take it at left half forward. Probably about 45 metres out. How will he have to kick this one, Brendan?
Look, I think his left-hand post, I believe, goal post should be right, and he probably hasn't.
Gee, I tell you what, now the goalpost was actually pushed
Moving
there.
before the...
Yeah,
Gee,
which
that's
is,
interesting.
Justin, that's a reportable offence, but on that occasion, I think the pack went up because it wasn't clear that the ball was going right through the clear of the players, so I think it was excusable on that occasion.
Okay, well, Slater and Mazzin's back there. The ball
Had a
did
bit
hit
of a
the
swing
post.
to it, didn't it? Just quietly.
Yeah, the ball did hit the post, but it was shaking before it got there. Minor score, 7-3 to 5-4. Ball to the outer side. No mark taken. Williamson at the back at left half back. Now he's got some room here. Draws a player and handballs to Derek Coughlin, the East Burwood captain. 1 bounce at centre wing. Coughlin 2 bounces at centre wing. He kicks up inside 50 now. Wind has to sit and wait for it. Over the back, Dwyer clean punch away. Caldwell on the ground. Handball to Cullen. Shut down by Edwards, who steals it away from 60 out. He goes looking for Tennant and he's got him. Tennant by himself has got the mark, 30 metres out, pretty much directly in front. You can't afford to leave Nick Tennant by himself.
No, certainly not. He's an excellent goal kicker, and I think this could bring up his first goal. I'm not sure on that one.
Yeah, you'd be right.
Yeah, no, it would be his first. You're exactly right.
Both the sort of key forwards, Tennant and Wind, haven't done a great deal, but Houlihan certainly leading the way down there. But this would be a good start, and maybe a kickstart for Tennant to go on and kick a bag.
So make it a 17-point margin. Nick Tennant for his first. He's got 9 stitches above his left eye from last week, and he's got the goal. He's got the goal, Nick Tennant. That's his first for the afternoon in the 1999 First Division Grand Final. East Burwood moved to 8-3-51. Vermont 5-4-34. With his thoughts, here's Mark Evans.
The handball there from Mark Cullen being by Travis Edwards, who's having quite a good game at the moment, and obviously with the Vermont boys running out of the back line, Nick Tennant there just left almost 20-30 metres by himself, so a bad turnover there against Vermont.
And with his thoughts at ground level, Geoff Ward.
Yeah, thanks, Justin. Also, Edwards for East Burwood has come right in the game in midfield.
Okay, thanks very much. Here come East Burwood again out of the middle, looking up there for the tall timber. Houlihan at the back, he's got another one. He's got another one, Damien Houlihan. How quick was that? Thank you very much. How many's Houlihan got, Geoff?
He has got 4 goals, 1.
How quick was that out of the middle, Brendan McCormack?
Simply awesome. I mean, once again, Trent Houghton just grabbed the ball and moseyed on out of the middle there and got the ball down quickly, and everything that Houlihan touches at the moment turns to goal.
I don't know if you noticed it, but the crowd has really started to talk it straight after that goal. They are just looking back and saying, well, look at those for a couple of plays. Trent Houghton and Damien Houlihan.
I've got that listed as 35 seconds.
That was amazing, wasn't it?
Very cool.
And Houghton won it down out of the middle again. Kick forward by Edwards towards the 50. There's some holding there. It went unseen. O'Dwyer was held. He dives in after it. It was shuffled out the back only as far as Lamprell, who gets a high kick back towards left half back. Matt Smith there, fished it to ground, back towards the boundary line. Derek Coughlin leaves, keeps it in. Got a handball squaring up to Williams. Back by hand to Williamson. Around his body to the 50. High ball, wind from the back, in front. Arthurson gathers from 50. He bends it around his body. Look out, because here comes Grinter. The bounce doesn't favour him at the back. It favours Cordwell, and he'll kick clear to Matt Smith at left half back. Good vision. Matt Smith handball to Cullen, sold him. Houghton, great tackle. Ball spills loose. Matt Smith back in and picks it up. Centre wing broadcast side, he sends it towards the half forward flank, but Shaw marks. He got a handball to Jackavu, who kicks towards centre half forward. Tennant will get the free kick.
Advantage.
Edwards goes in towards the pocket, wind. No, it'll come back, will it?
No.
Another whistle.
He's paying a downfield now. It'll go to East Burwood, down the ground, and that was the East Burwood player just can't pick his number up at the moment.
Travis Edwards.
Travis Edwards. He was flattened just after disposal.
Okay, good to have an umpire up here in the commentary box.
Tell you what.
Talking about me, Justin?
No, absolutely not.
Just on that rule, Jim, downfield there, does someone have to mark the footy, or is it just where it lands?
It's just where it lands. So it doesn't have to actually be marked. Where it lands, you take the kick, and the player who's closest to the side who's awarded the free.
So Stewie Wine's got it. I think he's lining up for his first 2, Geoff.
That's correct, but no.
Okay, Stewie Wine. I think he's 89th for the season if he kicks this.
That's right.
Left forward pocket, just poked it, but he's done
it.
enough. Damien Houlihan likes it. If he likes it, so does the goal umpire. It's another one. And a real big break starting to form here. 10-3-63, 5-4-34. It is a 29-point margin. Mark Evans, they are starting to form a break.
They certainly are, and the midfield is working so hard. You just have a look at Trent Houghton on this next bounce. Not only did he win that last tap, but he then ran inside 50, and Brad Neal was just not anywhere near him. So I think that something has got to be done there in the midfield for East Burwood.
Thanks very much, Mark Evans, on the sidelines there with Geoff Ward. Ball back in the middle. Let's keep an eye on Trent Houghton. In he comes. No, it's Williams in the ruck, but he wins it down to Houghton, who kicks it long inside 50 for Houlihan. Got hands to it. It falls to Wind. Can't get it. Grinter appealing for a free kick. Grinter over it. Shuffled out the back. Tennant goes in after it. They've got it at the top of the goal square. And there's a little bit on in that pack. In fact, there's a free kick, Jim Dowsley.
Yeah, he called for a ball up originally, and then he's seen something at the bottom of the pack, umpire Jason Kennedy, number 2, and he has paid a free kick.
Good umpiring, because all the players certainly saw it. And Nick
Nobody
Tennant,
arguing.
No, Nick Tennant will get it. Rod Grinter coming off the ground. Nick Tennant to go back and line up for his second. In the last 5 minutes, Brendan McCormack, what a turnaround in the complexion of this game. East Burwood are really standing tall.
Yeah, look, the clearances through the middle have been sensational East Burwood's way, and it's been pointed out by Mark, and I think we can all see that Trent Houghton has just been sensational through there. His work rate, and to that credit, I mean, now he's got Lamprell who's going to man him up. Looks like he'll tag him.
As you heard from the crowd, missed the goal too, Brendan.
Grinter off and Dinny Colatonio's on.
He did well there, Jim.
Dinny.
Andrew Dwyer off for Vermont. Just a bit of attention to his left knee, replaced by Burgiel.
Thanks very much, Geoff Ward. Dinny Colatonio, how does that sound, Jim? You did pretty well, mate. Minor score for Nick Tennant. He won't be happy with that kick either. Rowe to bring it in. He goes straight up the middle. That's a thumping kick from Lee Rowe. I'll tell you what, Lamprell flew a mile. He's hurt himself coming down. He couldn't take the mark. Edwards picks up at half forward. In fact, lost it. Now he's back after it again, Travis Edwards. Ball spills. He'll get the free kick. Advantage is paid to Houghton. Handball inside to Dean. Dean, some run. He goes for goal. He's missed. Away to the right. Minor score. And again, there's a bit going on behind play. Minor score for East Burwood. Here's Geoff Dowling.
Firstly, your pay's arrived. And secondly, Vermont, of course, kicked the first 2 goals of the quarter, and that was the second one kicked at the 5.5-minute mark. Since then, it's just been all East Burwood. From the 10.5-minute mark to the 23-minute mark, They've kicked 5 goals.
Ball out of play, centre wing, outer side, right in front of my pay truck. Is that what you call it?
Yeah, the armour guard's here, mate.
Centre wing, outer side with his thoughts. There's Brendan McCormack on GB Radio on Knox FM.
Yeah, Vermont have just got to gather their thoughts, I suppose. They're a little bit rattled at this stage with a couple of turnovers, costly turnovers, and you know, East Burwood are on a roll. They've just got to go man for man and try and get themselves back into the game.
Jackavu coming off the ground as East Burwood get it towards centre half forward. In and under. Paul Arthursson's held up at ground level. We will have a bounce. Jackavu coming off. Let's go down to Geoff Ward.
Yeah, thanks, Justin. Yeah, Jackavu coming off, replaced by Sassman. But certainly East Burwood midfield well on top. Houghton and Edwards especially.
Yeah, good call they are. They're both dominating throughout this second term. Ball one down. Looks like Coughlin getting a kick forward inside 50, but Mark Cullen takes the mark. And he sends it wide to the outer side. They need to rally the Eagles. He finds his brother in Brad. Right half back. It's 10-5 to 5-4. It's a 31-point margin in favour.
27 minutes gone.
Thank you very much. In favour of East Burwood. They need to rally here, the Eagles. Cullen, that's Brad to centre wing, has found Todd Power. Shaw gives him a little nudge to go on with. Power back to his feet, handball to Bain. Bain from centre wing to half forward. They need something up forward, but coming out a very good mark. Is that Richardson? It is. Did well. The coach, Alan Richardson. Supposedly, as he says, his last game of footy today. He'd be pretty happy at half-time, you would think. Richardson wide to Cameron Dean. Very good so far in the first half. Good shepherding provided by Nielsen. Dean gets a kick back towards the middle, but Doyle takes a smart mark in front of John Dinny Colantonio. He'll clear from the middle. Long to half forward. Up they go. Mazins flies from behind. He'll try and claim the mark, and he'll be paid. Jimmy Dowsley, your thoughts?
He was paid on that one. There was a few hands in there, but umpire Mark Lawson deemed that he had by far the majority of it, and he's paid Dave Mazins the mark.
Let's see what he can do here. He should go back and line up. How's he gone in front of goal so far today?
Let's just have a look. Am I on? Because I sound a bit echoey.
You're here.
I am on. Rightio. He's got 2 goals and he's hit the post.
I was going to say unfortunately, but no, we always love
Thank you very much, Justin. You'll get yours, Jimmy.
Here's David Mazins. 10-5 to 5-4. If they need a goal here, Brendan, it is right now. David Mazins coming in from about 52 metres. It's a very straight kick distance. Yes. That is a beautiful kick of the Collex football, David Mazins. He's put it through. 6-4-40, 10-5-65, 25-point margin, and they certainly needed that one. That now stems the tide or breaks the sequence of how many goals? 5 goals by East Burwood. The last one was actually the one kicked by Mazins, the Vermont kick, which is 5.5-minute mark. And that, of course, that one he's just kicked is a 28.5-minute mark. So 23 minutes between goals. On the boundary line, here's Mark Evans.
Yeah, we were standing right behind that goal, and that was almost defied the odds of today because of the wind, but that was a great kick.
Thanks, Mark. Ball out of the middle. Houghton again. He kicks up inside 50. Tennant in front. O'Dwyer from behind. Fists it down. Dwyer in after it. Matt Smith coming in from behind. In fact, Wine did well because he found Witcher, but the ball is out of play. 50 metres around. With his thoughts heading down to half-time on GB Radio and Knox FM. It's the man who's become somewhat of a very well-known commentator in the last few weeks, Brendan McCormack.
I don't know about that, mate, but look, just the clearances from the centre from East Burwood. You know, Vermont really need to get the next goal. The flexibility of the forward line, they haven't got a lot they can do, Vermont up forward.
Coughlin bends it around. Snapshot for goal is wide. Good pregnant pause there, Billy.
There's the siren.
Left the gap for me there, and there does go the siren to end a great first half of football. A first half that has belonged not only to East Burwood, but 2 players, Damien Houlihan and Trent Houghton, both former Collingwood Football Club players. Gee, I tell you what, they turned it on for the crowd in the first half, and you would think that Alan Richardson would be pretty happy at half-time, Brendan McCormack.
Oh, for sure. Going in with a 25-point lead is certainly, it's a big lead, yes, but, you know, we all know what Vermont's are like. They'll fight the game right out. By no means is it over. I just think they've just got the flexibility, the rotation of all their players. Houghton can go up forward if needed. You know, Tennant, if he needs to go into the ruck, Houlihan onto the ball. They've just got the rotation where probably Vermont haven't got the players they can swing around, and it's just a luxury position that East Burwood are in.
Mark Evans, if signs are anything, in fact, we'll come back to you in a minute. Half-time here, 10-5-65 East Burwood, Vermont 6-4-40 of the third quarter. Quite often touted as the premiership quarter of football. And today it will need to be for Vermont. They trail by 25 points. Damien Houlihan has 4 goals for East Burwood. Trent Houghton is in simply awesome form. Ready to go, and it is umpire Jason Kennedy in the middle. He's got the centre bounce duties in the second half.
How tall is he, Jimmy?
Oh, Jason's 6'2", I think.
We've got a bloke down the Canterbury Road and that's struggling to carry 3 kids
He's
off.
trying to take 3 kids. They don't want to go off. They want to stay out and have a kick with the big fellas.
Have a look at them. 3 toddlers, arm in arm. Look at him carrying them off. Fantastic. That's a great side, isn't it? That is fair. That is local footy at its best. Well done. Just about set to go. Umpire Kennedy in the middle. Look for some match-up changes here, gentlemen. There's bound to be a couple out there. Brendan McCormack scouring across the field. Mark Evans down at boundary line. Mark, can you see any changes?
Just looking now, it looks like Lee Rowe is picking up Witcher, and it looks like they've shifted Grinter further up the ground, so it'd be interesting to see now what takes place at this first bounce.
Thanks very much. Ball up in the middle to start the third quarter. Williams won it down. Lamprell held up in a tackle, and he's brought to ground. So we'll have a ball up in the middle again. Umpire Kennedy to put the ball down once more. Getting set to go up. Good bounce. Up they go. Coughlin may have got a hand on it towards Jackavu. Arthurson was bundled out of the way. Picking it up, Cullen. That's Mark. Wide to the outer side. He finds his brother Brett. It's amazing how many times these 2 brothers actually find each other on the football field, isn't it? They do it a fair bit. Vermont bring it up. High ball towards left half forward. Bergiel up in front. Almost came down with the mark. Over it, Nielsen's held up, and we'll have a ball up left half forward.
Saw they kicked a kick in the backyard when they were kids, mate.
We'll just get the boys down the sidelines too, just to find out who's wearing number 39.
Well, Geoff.
Or it is Geoff, is it?
Yep,
okay.
Yep.
So Geoff is out there. Thanks very much. Ball centre wing out of side. Jason Coughlin, handball to Dean. Away for East Burwood, wide to right half forward. Cullen will try and trap it, and he can't. It's out of play. Right half forward.
That East Burwood have set Houlihan in the goal square with Todd Power all alone, pushed everyone up to half forward, including Stuart Wine.
Thanks very much, Geoff. Yeah, we can see that down left of screen at the moment. Ball comes in. Right half forward. O'Dwyer doing the ruck work. Won it down to Matt Smith for Vermont. Scrambles a kick to centre wing out of side. Reese and Coughlin went underneath it. Coughlin back to it. Reese over the top. Coughlin back to his feet. Handball to Trent Houghton. He's leading Lamprell and Merry Dance at the moment. He gets a kick to right half forward. Off hands in front. Morrison bangs it back to centre wing. Up they go. Neil at the back has been paid the mark. Centre wing out of side. 25-point margin. The Rams lead. Neil kicks up towards left half forward. The target is Mazins, and Mazins has got it. He's been all right today, Brendan.
Yeah, he's been quite good up there. I mean, they haven't had too many shining lights up forward, but he's been fairly positive.
High kick, no distance, inside 50. Bergiel the flyer. Smith, kick around the body. Mark won't be paid. Shaw after it. May have been tackled high. He got a little kick out, but back to Andrew Smith. Handball to Edwards. From the pocket, he bends it back. Dwyer, will he get there? Witcher there. Dwyer hands to it. It drops in the goal score. It's run through for a point by Rodney Grinter. And a minor score, and that is the first score of the third term. It's a 24-point margin. Here's umpire Jim Dowsley.
Yes, well, they've got to move it now, Vermont. This is a quarter where they've got to start bridging the gap that has been established over the first half.
Geoff Dowling.
I was just going to make the comment that in that second term, Vermont kicked 3-2, East Burwood 5-5.
Good point it is too. Had a wonderful second quarter. Jason Coughlin brings it out to Dean in front of Geoff. Couldn't take the mark. His handball was good. Great second effort. He found Grinter, who stretches it by hand to Witcher. Centre wing, bends it good back. Vision. Inboard. He's got a player on him, Williamson. Just took his eyes off it. Didn't take the mark, but he got a handball away to Edwards. Clearing kick from the middle to half forward. Houlihan and Power. Power got a fist on it. Down in front, Edwards. Some shepherding supplied for Mark Cullen, who runs through and clears. To the outer side, he's got Bain. Cameron Bain will bring it back through the middle. I think he's going for his 7th or 8th premiership with the club today. He gets a kick to half forward, but getting back, Richardson takes the mark. He's just done enough today, hasn't he, Alan Richardson? He's been there.
Yeah, he always does across that half-back line. He settles the team down and gives them direction from there. He's been good.
Ball wide to the outer side. This is Travis Edwards. Centre wing outer side. Hope you're enjoying it on GB Radio Knox FM, number 1 for EFL footy in 99. High kick to half forward. Tennant couldn't take the mark. Kick was smothered down off Cullen. Now Neal gets a second chance. He sends it across the half back line. Geoff and Grinter. Grinter in front. Grinter crashing through Cullen. Plays allowed to go on. Power had it and lost it. So too Dean. Arthurson picks up. He creates some space from 45 and he goes bang. He puts it through. He puts it through, and East Burwood get another one. Arthurson found some space. What a great goal.
Sensational kick there, just off one step, and he's banged straight through the middle. But just looking at Vermont across half forward, they really have to push out Mazins now, and they just don't seem to have the options in the forward line there.
30-point margin. Arthurson's got 2. Let's go down to Geoff Ward and Mark Evans.
Yes, obviously, I think Vermont might be missing the fact that they couldn't quite get Peter Turner out there today. He'd be a great chance to play him in the ruck there and free Brad Neal to push him up forward, but I think they've got to start doing something because this game may slip away from them.
Thanks, Mark Evans on GB Radio Knox FM. Ball back in the middle. Neal won it down. Morrison just getting a little toe poke off the ground to centre wing. Broadcast side. Geoff. Little short kick to Cullen, who bends it back towards right half forward. Richardson bounced, didn't favour him. Slater at the back. Got a handball away and a high tackle. It'll come back.
No, he's going back, mate.
Yep, he's bringing it back.
Reese, high tackle on Slater. From half back, he goes to centre wing, too far for Williams. It'll find some space at centre wing. Bouncing ball, Geoff picks up. Handball, Morrison back in board to Neal. Centre wing, he's got room to move. Runs on about 5 metres and kicks inside 50. Burgill, the fly, loves to jump, doesn't he? He'll pick it up at ground level in the pocket. He'll bend it back around on his left boot. High ball in towards the pocket. Slater across, sees it to the line and over. Boundary throw in. Right forward pocket. East Burwood 11-5-71. Vermont 6-5-41. Ball comes in and the umpire Jason Kennedy will come up for a bounce. Dependable Management Services scoreboard. Our thanks to Dependable Management Services for their support right throughout the year. With his thoughts, there's Brendan McCormack.
Yeah, I think Vermont really need a goal in this situation. They've just got to kick the next goal.
Ball down. They're at the top of the goal square. Mazins, Houghton, great work. He got a little handball to Richardson. Richardson across the face of goal, handball wide to Shaw, who runs onto the bouncing ball and steps around Dwyer. Great little handball through to Nielsen. Nielsen towards centre wing out of side, down low Cullen. That's Mark, couldn't take the mark. Morrison picks up, handball back to Smith, who runs onto it, running away from goal. Now he runs the arc. On the left boot, he bends it back towards Mark Cullen. Couldn't gather. Arthurson also there. Cullen in after it again. It's held up at ground level. It's forced out towards Matt Edwards from Vermont. Right there, Jacobu. It's out for Tennant, for Dean, for Tennant by hand. They mess it up. Now picking it up is Edwards. Handball not too good at all. Eventually it's back towards the line and forced over for a boundary throw. And gee, nobody could get a clean possession on that occasion.
Made a real bill of that one.
Ground level, here's Geoff Ward.
Yeah, thanks, Justin. Yeah, the crowd's sort of quiet now because East Burwood has certainly opened up a handy lead and it's threatening for Vermont. They, as Brendan said, they really need the next goal.
Ball comes in, centre wing out of side mark. In fact, it was Brad Cullen pulled off it. Derek Coughlin over the ball. Umpire Jason Kennedy will come in for a bounce. I think the question was asked before. Jason Kennedy, how tall is he?
He's about 6'2", and he's in the off-season he's a cricketer and he's a quick bowler, actually medium to quick. So he says quick, but I think he's more medium.
6'2". Gee, I tell you what, I'm just under 6. Oh, I reckon he's more than 6'2".
Well, I think he's taller than at least the East Burwood ruckman height.
Maybe Jace will go up for the next tap out, mate. Ball away from centre wing. East Burwood up towards right half forward. Well, we've seen an umpire mark the ball. Maybe he'll bounce it down and go up for a hit out himself.
Well, throw down the wrong one.
He'll get on the highlights if he does that, I think.
Ball out of play.
Must excuse Jimmy, though, Justin, for his estimates today. 5,000 crowd. And
Very conservative.
We've got a free kick out of side. Jeff Dowling's away and running. Brad Neal's got the free kick. Centre wing out of side. I hope your estimates are better in other areas, Jimmy. I'm telling you. Up towards left half forward, but a good mark. Trent Houghton, he'll repel from half back. He goes to Williams, centre wing. Neal crunch over the back. Gee, Houghton is just standing up, isn't he? He is just a delight to watch. Now, there's a 25 here for late contact. Jimmy Dowsley.
Yeah, he paid it for late contact in the back there.
Williams up towards right half forward now. About 55 out.
Not a bad 25 either. It puts him with a chance to score a
What
goal.
would you estimate that 25?
I thought it was about 20 metres.
Oh dear, oh dear. Williams, 55, right boot, long, goal square ball. Houlihan never there. Hall couldn't take the mark. Coughlin has got the goal. He snapped it around off the right boot. Yes, Derek Coughlin, the captain. Thank you very much. 12-5, 12-5, 77, 6-5, 41. Gentlemen, it's now a 6-goal break as Derek Coughlin gets his first of the afternoon.
Yeah, just excellent positioning there by Coughlin. The ball's kicked up to the top of the square in the right position, just off the boot, a quick kick, and they score another goal. But they're just working that little bit harder, and you just detect probably that Vermont, their work rate has dropped off a little bit.
GB Radio, Knox FM this afternoon. Hope you're enjoying it. Here's Mark Evans down on the boundary line.
Yes, Justin, I'm just having a look at Michael Kennedy, and he's obviously having a good look at the board. At half-time, they've obviously done a couple of things around, but they need to do something here. If I was them, I'd be pushing some of their better players back into the half-back line and just creating that little bit more run, because they just can't allow East Burwood to play the game they've played so far this quarter. It looks like there's a change coming up now.
Thanks very much, Mark Evans, down there with Geoff Ford today. We'll get some stats from Geoff Dowling in just a moment. Umpire Kennedy puts it down, coming through Williams. May have just won it down in the end. Cullen will clear a kick out, though, for Vermont. Towards half-forward, underneath it is Bain, who takes the mark. He squares up. He's got power inside 50. And I'll tell you what, Todd Power, you are a champion. Fantastic player. He's run up from half-back, and that's just the class of this bloke.
He's there, actually, Justin. They've pushed Toddy Power. They've made a change. Lample's gone back onto Houlihan, and Toddy Power's actually gone onto the ball just to get some drive through the midfield.
Well picked up. Power, 48.5 metres long. Kick, Mazin shepherding through. He's got it. Well, if any man at Vermont can lift the team, it's Todd Power. He is a champion player, and he kicks a great goal. It's back to 30 points with some stats. Here's Geoff Dowling.
Yes, let's just have a look at what's been happening in this term. Vermont inside 40s 3, East Burwood 2, free kicks 1 apiece, 25-metre penalty to East Burwood. On the run of goals has been East Burwood, Vermont.
Well,
Namion replacing David Morrison for Vermont.
thanks very much. So Namion, Morrison off, all the crowd down in front of us. Tune into GB Radio and Knox FM, enjoying it with their transistor radios today.
Turn around and wave to us.
Here's Arthurson out of the middle. They're watching the footy. Leave him alone. Up towards left half forward. Lamprell across. Little kick back towards centre wing. Running underneath it was Bain. Witch is there. He gathers and he gets back to his feet. He bends it around on the left boot towards half forward. Houlihan's got it. Probably his first real touch this quarter, Houlihan. 4 goals in the first half. He squares up to half forward. Jackavu there, couldn't take it, off hands. Edwards picks up, little handball back. Here's Houghton. A great handball to Tennant.
A handball? I think they weren't handball.
The umpire stopped at Mark Lawson. He's paid a free kick. But he's actually not paid the advantage. East Burwood were away there.
Okay.
But it's coming back and going, looks like to Coughlin, is it?
No, Edwards, I think, will take it. Coughlin's got it at the moment. Edwards is pulling the socks up, which is usually a fair sort of a sign that he's going to go back and line up, and he will. So, yeah, Houghton did well to get the handball through, but obviously the whistle attended. Just with the crowd around us, it's so hard to pick anything up.
It is.
Edwards, Travis, wonderful first half. Certainly in the best 3 on the ground in the first half, this young bloke. From 40 metres out directly in front, it's back to 6 goals because he's put it straight through the middle. The Rams are kicking goals when it counts. 13-5, 83, leading Vermont 7-5, 47 on GB Radio and Knox FM. It's Brendan McCormack.
Yeah, East Burwood, they've just got it all happening across the ground. They run through half-back line, their clearances through the middle, they're kicking their goals, the ones that they should kick, and it tells on the scoreboard, doesn't it? It's desperate times for Vermont.
Here's Geoff Dowling.
Yeah, great effort there by Edwards. 1 goal in the second quarter, and of course now 1 goal in the third term as well. At the 12-minute mark.
36-point lead. Houghton out of the middle again, takes it towards half forward. Grinter doing well. It falls to Nummy under pressure. Handball. Houghton, great heavy work. Geez, just standing up at the moment. I can't speak highly enough of this bloke because he's just everywhere.
Yeah, he certainly is. He is a class act. I mean, you talk about Toddy Power for Vermont, but Trent Houghton is just sensational today.
Looking pretty good for the best on ground today. $400 in prizes with thanks to Arlec, Juice, Wild West and Club Kilsyth as Geoff gets a kick away from half back to centre wing out of side. Andrew Smith will try and run it down. Arthurson comes in. Edwards with some shepherding. Smith picks up. He cuts it in low towards left half forward. Richardson will have to chase Cullen. Cullen, handball over the top to Matt Smith. 50 out, tucked inside the pocket. He goes long towards the top of the goal square, which has got it. Good shepherding out behind in the end by, it was Williamson. Certainly didn't shepherd out on purpose, just placed his body in the right spot at the right time. Little kick, Witcher, wide to Nielsen. I think we've got some changes coming up. No, not at the moment. Nielsen Little chip over the top finds Shaw, Darren Shaw.
Well, on for Vermont, replacing Paul Rees.
Thanks very much, Geoff. So there was a change. I thought I saw it in the foreground of my binoculars, a flash of blonde hair coming past and then a flash of blonde hair going on the ground. Ball in the middle. Williams, well tackled by Cordwell. Ball spills loose. O'Dwyer, handball across. High kick, Burgiel towards half forward. Shaw, strong mark behind Dwyer. Strong mark, Darren Shaw. Some people will appealing for a push in the back. Wasn't there, Jimmy Downs?
No, it wasn't there. It was a good mark.
Here comes Rowe, though. Takes it away at right half forward. He goes for goal. It's coming back. He's got it. He's got it, Lee Rowe. That is a great goal. He stole it at half forward, didn't he? Just stole it away, Brendan McCormack, and that's a great goal on the run from 45.
Yeah, he's a hard worker, Lee Rowe, and just a bad bounce there for Witcher, and Vermont desperately need the goal, and he's put it straight through, so hopefully they can lift Vermont and get him back into the game.
Back to 30 points, that's his second. Down to you, Mark Evans. For mine, Lee Rowe has been close to the best recruit this season, crossing from Ringwood to Vermont.
Yeah, well, we would have liked to have had him at Croydon, but certainly I'd say now that Vermont have had the ball quite a bit in their forward line, not made opportunities, that's a goal that they desperately needed.
Ball back in the middle, and here come East Burwood again, but standing on the defensive side of the circle was Paul Goff. He got a kick for Vermont to the outer side. Arthurson and Edwards. Edwards beats him on this occasion, Matty Edwards. Left half forward. He goes long inside 50. If they can get another one here, Mazzin's forced to punch from behind. Jason Coughlin does the roving. Found Nielsen, handball wide to Richardson, who's held up by Matty Edwards. Richardson back after it. Thumps towards the line, but Dwyer picks it up. His handball is straight, picked up by Cordwell in the pocket, bends it back. They've got two in the square, the Rams. And they will clear it. Witcher, kick over the top, finds Grinter defensively. Quick check of the Dependable Management Services scoreboard, 13-5 to 8-5, 5-goal margin. In fact, it's Edwards with the ball, not Grinter, who goes short up to half back to Slater, who runs on and gets a handball to Witcher, who ducked his head. He got back to his feet. Handball away to Slater. They're in trouble. To Williams. To Witcher. They'll get out of it at half back. Kick wide to Jason Coughlin. Centering out of side. He's had a great year. Jason Coughlin away. He kicks inside 50 for Houlihan. Lamprey right there with him. Now there's some holding here, and it's against Houlihan.
That's right. Yeah, he's paid it for a holding free kick in the marking contest.
With his thoughts, Brendan McCormack?
Yeah, Vermont, well, we've talked about it, need the next goal, but you know, they've just got to keep this work rate. They seem to have lifted it a bit, not Vermont at this stage, so hopefully they can continue on.
From the kick, centering out of side, Arthurson gathers. He brings it inboard towards Edwards, who's well tackled and held up by Cullen, and umpire Kennedy will come in for a bounce. Let's go down to Geoff Ward.
Thanks, Justin. Just as you know, down here at ground level, that David Morrison's getting a lot of work on his back, trying to manipulate it, so obviously a back leg-related injury at the moment.
Thanks very much, Geoff Ward, right on the scene for GB Radio and Knox FM listeners this afternoon. Local footy at its best, and number one for EFL footy as the Rams take it inside 50. Over the top of it is Rod Grinter, and that's where it'll stay. Ball up about 47 metres out, 13-5 to 8-5. Here's Jeff Dowling coming up in just a moment with some stats. Ball to go down, umpire Mark Lawson. Good bounce on this firm Bayswater surface. O'Dwyer won it down for Vermont. The two Cullen brothers, Brad and Mark, see it to the line. 50 metres around for a boundary throw-in.
Oh, I actually haven't got any stats, Justin, but the raffle, the winning ticket is D38. It's a star ticket. It's got 4 stars down the right-hand side. It's red stars, and you can collect it upstairs. And I think that was the money tree and the couple of bottles of creamy soda and all types of things in there.
Well, we'll have it.
Yeah, if they don't collect it, bring it down here.
Ball out of play, 50 metres around. Secondary boundary throwing. Tennant to do the ruck work with O'Dwyer. Houlihan sets himself in front, but O'Dwyer fists it up towards the left half-back flank, picked up by Houlihan. He bends it back towards centre half forward. Grinter flies from the side. Matt Smith takes the mark, and he will clear for Vermont. Loves to run, and he does quickly. Plays on across half-back, switches play to centre wing broadcast side. Probably not the best option because it's 2-on-1 and it favours East Burwood. Witcher, handball to Shaw, takes a high tackle from Nummy and gets his kick away inside 50. Houlihan comes in, couldn't take the mark. Wind came across in front, brought to ground by O'Dwyer. O'Dwyer doing well at the moment. Out to Houlihan, bends it back. He's got it. No, it was
touched off the boot.
Touched off the boot. The umpire's right on the scene there, Jimmy. Picked it up quickly.
I thought it was good umpiring too. He didn't just blow the whistle. He waited until the ball got out and the play was allowed to go on.
There's some changes down on the sidelines. Let's go down to Geoff Ward.
Yeah, Lee Rowe off for Vermont, replaced by Paul Rees. And
Didicol Antonio has come on, and Jacobu's been taken off again.
I thought I did it better last time. Jeff.
Thanks very much. Mark Evans and Geoff Ward trying to get out John Didicol Antonio. Here comes Matt Edwards from half-back. He gets it to Reese in the middle. Shaw comes in from the side. Heavy contact is made, and both players went to ground. Jason Coughlin picked up and got a handball to Justin Witcher, and through goes Reese after the kick, and that should have been downfield, umpire. We'll come back to Jimmy Dowsley in a minute. Dean at half forward got it to Grinter, who goes for goal, and he's just the wrong side of the post for a point. Jim Dowsley.
There was high contact, and it could have been downfield, but in the end, I think the umpires let it go on because they had the advantage, but it was definitely a free kick.
Benefit of the doubt is granted then. Here's Brendan McCormack on GB Radio and Knox FM.
Yeah, I suppose the game's at a little bit of a lull at the moment. East Burwood, both teams working hard, so just both teams working very hard at this stage, I suppose.
Probably can't ask for much more. 31-point margin as the kick comes in to the outer side. Arthurson with the fist, won it down to Derek Coughlin, who squared up with a fancy little kick. Now, I'm not sure if he meant that, but Grinter's taken it about 42 metres out. We'll go down to Geoff Ford and Mark Evans. Did he really mean that kick around the boundary line there, Derek Coughlin?
Well, I'm going to back him in. I reckon he was definitely trying to square it off. Whether he was actually passing directly to Grinter or not, I don't know, but he certainly meant to kick it back in.
Okay, it wasn't a bad effort in the end then, if he did mean it.
You'd think he'd probably kick this, Justin. He's an excellent kick.
In comes Rod Grinter, and I'll tell you what, Brendan McCormack, you know your plays,
I'll tell you what he calls it.
Because he's put it straight through the middle, and the margin is out to 37 points, and by my reckoning, that would be the greatest margin so far this afternoon.
You're spot on there, mate.
Jim Dowsley.
Yes, well, Vermont really, it's crunch time now. They've got to stay in touch with this game. It's drifted out to 37 points, is it?
Yep.
And they've got to do something quickly.
Stats, Geoff Dowling.
Let's have a look what's been happening. Inside 40s, excuse me, sorry about that. Inside 40s, we've got 6 to Vermont and 8 to East Burwood. Free kicks, been pretty tame in that area. 2 to Vermont and 3 to East Burwood.
Matt Smith away from the middle for Vermont, up towards right half forward with the kick. Bouncing ball, who will it favour? It will favour Justin Witcher, who's had a fair bit of it this quarter. He bends it back centre wing broadcast side. Travis Edwards takes the mark. A very good afternoon to Darren Brown, who's sitting at the MCG, listening to local footy at its best on GB Radio and Knox FM this afternoon. We're thinking of you, Brownie, as the ball goes into the middle. Richardson takes the mark and squares up with the handball to Jason Coughlin, who goes long from directly in the middle of the ground, inside 50. Houlihan mark. Great mark out in front, Damien Houlihan. And I'll tell you what, Andrew Lamprell, don't worry about shaking your head, mate. He's pretty hard to stop when he's got a pass like that coming down his throat.
Yeah, 4 goals, 2.
Long arms. Yes. Yeah, he just got to the front there, and he's very hard to beat. He's got those long arms. He just sticks them out, and sensational grab there, full pace.
Sorry, Geoff, going for his fifth.
I was just going to say, yeah, 4 goals, 2.
37 points, 43-point margin looming. Houlihan, 40 out, directly in front.
Thank you.
43-point margin is now with us. Houlihan gets his 5th. He's got 5 goals, 2. Here's Geoff Ward and Mark Evans on the sidelines.
Thanks, Justin. Yeah, what a terrific. I thought Lamprell had sort of quietened Houlihan for most of this quarter, but as you mentioned, Justin, it was a terrific pass. Not a lot he can do about it. But the feature of Houlihan is he's finishing off for goals, just terrific.
Thanks very much. We'll come back to you guys in a minute. In fact, Mark Evans, we'll get your comments right now.
Yeah, I'm very impressed with the way that East Burwood have handled it. Vermont, you know that you can't hold the game for every moment, and Vermont was starting to throw it, but East Burwood have certainly worked their way back.
Thanks, gentlemen. Ball back in the middle. That's probably Jason Kennedy's worst bounce of the day. We'll give him that one. Andrew Smith over the top of it. Umpire Kennedy will have another chance to
go
impress.
at it now, Justin.
Another chance to impress. Jim Dowsley, Brendan McCormack, Geoff Dowling, Geoff Ward, Mark Evans, Rebecca McConnell, all here for the Eastern Footy Show team today. Hope you're enjoying it.
Got it right that time.
Did well. Brad Neal almost lost his pants in the ruck. He pulls them up around the hips now. Cullen got a handball across wide to Lamprell, long way up the ground. Obviously following Houlihan up. Centre wing outer side, Cameron Dean overran it. Lamprell goes in hard on Derek Coughlin. Ball towards the line, and umpire Kennedy will come in for a bounce. Great crowd around the outer side. We haven't got the final figure yet. We're waiting on that. Brendan McCormack says 10. Jim Dowsley says 5. And I'll tell you what, Jimmy, I don't think it's anywhere near 5. But, of course, we were talking about the umpires' tent, weren't we? And they're enjoying it this afternoon, too, on the outer side. They've had a wonderful year, the EFL umpires. Ball out of play, centre wing outer side, heading down towards three-quarter time with some stats. He's the only man with all the stats, Geoff Dowling.
Oh, I don't know about that. Let's have a look at the run of goals in this third term. East Burwood, then Vermont came back. We thought they might just muscle their way back into the game, but East Burwood answered that one, and then Vermont got another one, but East Burwood have got the last two.
And they now have a 43-point margin.
Biggest margin of the day.
5 goals, 2 to Houlihan as Coughlin gets a handball out of the pack. Centre wing out of side, but it went straight down the throat of Todd Power, who squares up back towards the middle. The target was Dwyer. Shaw was there. Shaw's done pretty well, actually, across half-back today. Picking up in the middle now. Edwards, kick forward towards left half forward, and he's got Wind on a lead. Still about 70 metres from goal. He squares up to half forward, and he's got Grinter in front of Todd Power, who cops one to go on with it, and Rod Grinner will go back from 50 metres out. Darren Shaw today's been pretty good across half-back.
Yeah, he has been very good across half-back, and we've pointed out also Travis Edwards. He has been sensational through the midfield. The use of the footy is great.
There's been a change. Let's go down to Geoff Ward.
Yeah, Sasson for East Burwood replacing Cameron Dean.
Thanks very much, Geoff.
Todd Power's a brave man, making Rod Grinter earn that.
Yeah, you're right too. Here's Grinner from 52 metres. Brendan McCormack said he was a lovely kick. Brendan McCormack, He is a lovely kick. He's got another one. And it's now a 49-point margin heading down towards three-quarter time in the 99 First Division Grand Final. Grinter has 2, does he?
He's got 2. He's actually got 2-1 and 25 minutes gone.
Thank you very much. Let's go down to Mark.
you.
Let's go down to Mark Evans.
Yeah, by me, that's about the 9th goal kicker that East Burwood have got. Only one real multiple with Houlihan on 5, so they're really spreading it around. They're causing a lot of headaches for Vermont.
And Mark, I think you're right, mate. I think it is their 9th goal kicker. You might have to come up here and take Geoff's.
Easy, just watch it down. I've got my eye on you down there, fella. You just stay down there on the boundary line, right?
Cullen, that's Brad, got a kick out of the middle and found Caldwell at left half forward, who bends it around the body and finds Mark Cullen about 50 metres out. So just with Mark Cullen being up there, they're switching the team around, Vermont. Here's Mark Cullen, about 52 metres out, but they have to do that at the moment, Brendan, don't they?
Yeah, certainly. You've just got to change it around. And Toddy Power up, we find him now taking the grab. They've just got to rotate it around and try and get a match that, may get them back into the game.
Cullen went short and found Todd Power about 10 metres closer in. Let's have a quick check of the scoreboard. 16-7 to 8-5. It's a 50-point margin, gentlemen. 50-point margin. Power comes in from about 45. They need this one, and it's right to the line and forced through for a point. In fact, whistle's gone. It may be a mark at the back, is it?
I think the Houghton
It looks like
Houghton it is, yes.
Houghton,
It's been paid. So Houghton to take it. He's had a wonderful day in the 99 Grand Final. He's right up there for the Best on Ground award today. $400 in prizes. Here's Arthurson stretching away from right half-back, and there's the siren to end a third quarter of football in the 99 Grand Final. The Geoff Dowling belonged to East Burwood, and there is a bit going on the outer side. Nick Tennant's there. Edwards is there. In fact, many players are now there. Sassman just involved. And good to see the umpires.
Just a bit of frustration.
A yellow card here. Nick Tennant's just got a yellow card, gentlemen. So
that would mean, Justin, that he's been reported. With the yellow card, he doesn't have to. He'll go off not for the whole game,
15
but he'll go
minutes.
off for 15 minutes. So, but there is definitely a card by the look of things.
Yeah, he got a yellow card, and Nick Tennant still speaking to the umpire there.
I think also Kieran O'Dwyer's got a card as well.
And now Slater involved as well. But is a yellow card an automatic report, Jim? It's not an automatic report.
No, it's not an automatic report, but in that circumstance, it would probably be a report. It looked like there's a little bit going on, but it's not automatic. And yeah, there's a little bit going on with spectators, which is not good.
It's not good. That's not good to see. Whoever that bloke is, he's an idiot.
Just some fool.
Cameron Bain probably not a great man to tussle with.
No, just some fool running through and having a word to Cameron Bain. You'd think he'd have
some
more
big
sense
tough
than
guy
that.
probably said something when he couldn't see him. Yeah.
But anyway, Nick Tennant, we know, will definitely be off for the first 15 minutes of the fourth quarter.
Playing time, yes.
And we don't know on Kieran O'Dwyer.
Not quite yet, we'll see.
We'll check that out. Geoff Ward might like to head out and not hassle the umpires, Geoff, but just ask a nice, quite polite question for us, mate, and just find out what actually eventuated then. Three-quarter time, that's the main thing at the moment, and you can see the scoreboard, 16-7, 103, East Burwood, Vermont, 8-5, 53. It's a 50-point margin at three-quarter time in the 99 Grand Final. Last quarter of the 99 grand final. East Burwood lead by 50 points. Gentlemen, anybody prepared to go against East Burwood now?
You just can't see it happening, can you?
No. Jeff Dowling, no.
I'll stick with my original tip.
Jeff Ward, Mark Evans, prepared to go against East Burwood from here?
Certainly not, Justin. I think they'll win this clearly.
Yep, okay.
No, I reckon Vermont can get up for this. It's only 10 goals.
Walk in the park.
Did you used to coach Croydon, Mark?
Yeah, supposedly.
Ball set to go with the start of the last quarter.
Rumour, that one.
Shouldn't have said that. There was a false meaning behind that. Ball goes down in the middle. Williams wins it down. Keep an eye out for the best on ground. It may be this man, Trent Houghton. Great handball to Witcher. Witcher goes long inside 50. Derek Coughlin trying to track it in before it hits the boundary line. Paul Reese is there for Vermont. Ball is over the line and out. About 40 metres around. Best on ground today. $400 in prizes with thanks to Arlec. Club Kilsyth. Fantastic venue down in Canterbury Road. Wild West and Juice Nightclub. Trent Houghton be pretty close at the moment, you'd think.
Yeah, certainly.
Very well.
Ball comes in 50 metres around. The Rams into attack early in this last quarter. We'll have a ball up. Some of the other players we should be looking out for.
I think Travis Edwards has been sensational. Houlihan. It's just a bit hard to find someone for Vermont who's really stood out.
Ball to go down. About 48 metres out. Great bounce from by umpire Kennedy. Going up, Lamprell. Won it down. Morrison picks up. Got a little handball to Cullen. Running round the boundary line. Outer side. Goes through centre wing with a long kick. Richardson getting back there with Caldwell, who may have been held off the ball by the jumper. And Richardson almost goes over the fence. The crowd says hello to Allen in what could be his last quarter of football. So he did state that he would hang up the boots to me during the week. I suppose only time will tell. Ball comes in. Right half forward for Vermont. Neal won it down. Richardson brought to ground and a good tackle by his opposite number 13, Andrew Smith. And really for Alan Richardson, he missed out on the 90 grand final. He really wanted to be here for this one. He went to the tribunal during the week and got off with a not guilty verdict. And he's here today. And by the looks of the scoreboard, he might be celebrating a victory.
It looks that way, doesn't it?
Jeff Dowling will go to you in just a moment as Morrison gets a long kick from 70 metres inside 50 for Vermont. Who will the bounce favour? Mazin slaps it down to ground level. And again, he gets it on a little bit towards Burgiel. 30 metres out, twisting back. He snaps around the body for goal. It's a minor score. 49-point lead is Jeff Dowling.
Oh, no, I was just going to actually say to Jeff Ward that I just saw Chris Tearley down that way and grab hold of him to see if you can get a gate figure.
I certainly will, Jeff.
Thanks, mate.
Kick to come in, 49-point margin. As we said, into the third quarter, Trent Houghton and Kieran O'Dwyer, Jimmy Dowsley have both been reported yellow carded, so they'll miss the first 15 minutes of this quarter.
That's right.
So we won't see those two players. Jason Coughlin, little kick to himself and plays on. Gained about 10-15 metres out of that. Vermont had nobody at the top of the goal square. Ooh. Hall takes the mark at half forward in front of Williams. Good mark it was too. It's been pretty quiet today, Brett Hall.
Yeah, yep.
Goes on now and kicks long from about 75 towards the top of the goal square. Oh! Sensational mark by the kid from Maffra. Second big mark of the day, and Adrian Burgiel has brought the house down with a screamer at the top of the goal square. Gee, he likes getting up high.
Oh, he's fantastic, isn't he? What a leap.
What to come in. He'll go for goal, Burgiel directly in front. He's got it. How many goals has he kicked? I know he's taken 2 big marks.
He's taken 2 big marks and he's kicked 2 big goals.
Let's go down to Jeff Ward.
Thank you, Justin. This is for Jim Dowsley's benefit. I just spoke to Chris Tearley, and an estimate between 9,500 to 10,000, in between that range.
Thanks very much. Geez, Billy, you can pick a crowd, mate.
I was going to say,
mathematics
well,
days, mate. I counted them quickly as I walked in.
Well, how's that? Great mark from Adrian Burgiel, and obviously an easy goal in the end, but what
I'll
a
tell you what,
fantastic
Jim, how much
highlight.
do you reckon your car's worth, mate, just quietly?
Oh, pretty good on the estimates.
Oh, right, okay.
Let's have a check of the Dependable Management Services scoreboard. East Burwood 16-7-103, 43-point lead. Vermont 9-6-60, and that's just the start the Eagles wanted, Brendan.
Certainly was. It's going to be tough for them, as we said, but they won't lie down. They'll fight the game right out.
Ball back in the middle. Umpire Jason Kennedy. Ball down. A little bit skew if. Neal won it down to Morrison. The Eagles out of the middle again. Towards left half forward. Rowe. Getting back was Coughlin. Couldn't mark it. Rowe picks up from 50. He goes long towards the goal square. He's off target though. Minor score. Gee, if they'd have got one there, this crowd would have gone wild. Minor score. 42-point margin. 103 plays 61. Listening to it live on GB Radio and Knox FM. Number 1 for local footy and its best in the Eastern Football League. Quarter number, what did we say? 612 for the season.
That's correct.
Game number 153 here today. We've had a great time. Hope you've enjoyed it. Ball to the outer side, and a huge fly from Matty Edwards. Takes the mark and runs on inside 50 and goes for home. He goes for home with a long kick. It'll land in the goal square. It's fisted through by Nielsen. Minor score. And the Eagles are peppering away.
Well, it's a start they wanted. They realise that it's make or break, and they've just got to have a go at it, win, lose or draw, which you wouldn't think they'd win, but they're just going to finish off the game and, you know, get some respect, I suppose.
41 points as Coughlin kicks it in and elects to go to the outer side with as much distance as he's got. Houlihan comes in from behind. Had a hand in the back of Neil.
He signalled the way it's going Vermont's way.
Yes, I was going to say it should have been a Vermont free kick, and it is. So Brad Neal's got it at right half forward. Houlihan just had his left arm into his back. He bombs it long, Neil, in towards the pocket. Up they go. Mazzin's the flyer from behind. Didn't come down with it. Clearing kick away. May have been Williamson for East Burwood, but only out as far as Cullen. That's Brad, who goes short to Rowe. Rowe leans back from 49. He goes long, and it may be through. No, it's hit the post. Just hit the post, as well as a couple of plays, and it's through for a minor score. Let's go down to Mark Evans. The Eagles are flying.
Funnily enough, down there in the reserves game, we saw someone reported for shaking the post. That's twice the post has been moving when it's hit the post here in the senior game.
Very good call, and there's been no reports for that in the senior game, but you're right, somebody did get reported in the reserves game for that. Kick away to the outer side. East Burwood probably just need to steady here at the moment. They still lead, obviously, by 40-odd points, but Vermont are throwing everything at them at the moment, as you would expect. Witcher gets a kick to centre wing outer side and finds Arthurson. You'd expect nothing less from the Eagles, would you?
No.
Arthurson. Inside 50 to Wind. It's very wide, though, and Wind will have trouble keeping that in. It's out of bounds on the full. Dwyer to bring it back in. 16-7, 103, 9-9, 63. 23 scoring shots to 18 this afternoon. As Vermont bring it back towards the middle. O'Dwyer and Richardson. It beats both of them over the back. Houghton coming in. Heavy on Brad Hall. It finds its way to Rowe from 50. He's had a couple of shots. He goes long, and Mazzin's marks and goals. Mazzin's marked in the goal square, and he has got it. 34 points, gentlemen.
That would have been close, Justin, because he was right near the goal line when he went to kick that ball. So the goal umpire was in good position, and obviously deemed that he was forward, but not forward of the line, and it goes through for a goal.
Geoff Dowling, how many goals for David Mazins?
For Mr. Mazins, where are we? He's done pretty well. 4 goals, 1. In hitting the post was that 1.
Well, there you go. Waiting for the ball to come back to the middle. Brendan McCormack, 34 points.
Well, you just can't write them off. I mean, we've been saying how hard it's going to be from here, but they're peppering away at the goals, and this is the start they want. Who knows what could happen?
I just gave Croydon
7 minutes in.
I gave Croydon some stick and hung it on Mark Evans. Mark, 34 points.
Well, just let's see what happens now, because they still need a couple of quick ones.
Neil wins it down in the middle. Hall got a little handball looking for Morrison. Couldn't take it, though. Witcher, clearing kick back towards Cameron Houghton, who's on the ground now. And he'll kick from the middle of the ground. Late inclusion for Andrew Sorensen. He goes inside 50. Wind, almost pulled down the mark. Matt Smith will streak away for Vermont and kick wide to the outer side. He finds Cullen. Cullen's got a lot of room to move. This is Mark. One bounce. Rides a bump from Richardson. Handball over the top. Unleashes Smith. That's Andrew. Long kick from 50. Top of the goal square. Hall in the middle. Couldn't take the mark. Rowe picks up. Snapshot for goal. And it's hit the post. Hit the base of the post. It's 33 points. And Lee Rowe is on fire. Here's Geoff Ward.
I was just going to mention that, Justin. He's given them a real spark across half forward as a running target.
Well,
4 posters for Vermont in the game.
33 points. Brendan McCormack.
Yeah, well, they've rotated around, and you know, with Rowe up forward now, it could be an option to maybe kick a few goals.
Coughlin kicks out.
He's
And
paid a mark.
guess who's taking a mark in front of a huge pack? Trent Houghton. Plays on quickly. Kicking towards the middle, and he's spotted Arthurson. Getting back, though.
Well
it's fisted
done.
down by Cullen to Cullen. The 2 Cullen boys working overtime, but the kick drops short. And Rowe just giving Williamson one to go on with. Yeah, I had a pretty good look at that through the binoculars, and all I'll say is Adam Williamson made that look 20 times worse than what it was, Jimmy Dowsley.
Yeah, he might have contributed a little bit there, but Rowe was a bit lucky in the end.
Contributed. Ball back towards centre wing. He contributed all right. Derek Coughlin there, upended, and we'll have a ball up. Centre wing broadcast side. Brendan, you think East Burwood, 33 points is still a big margin, but they probably just need one here to kill off Vermont, don't they?
Yeah, certainly do. I mean, Vermont have picked up the work rate, and East Burwood just need a steadier, I believe.
Crowd getting into it. Neil goes up with Williams, centre wing broadcast side. Edwards That's East Burwood's Travis Edwards came out with a kick, but only as far as Smith. Middle of the ground, got a handball to Geoff, who kicks wide to the outer side, coming in to meet it. Cameron Houghton juggles it and gathers it in front of Todd Power. Gets a little kick back towards the middle, only as far as Doyle, though, who bangs it back for the Eagles to half forward. Now, there's a push there.
Hayden in the back.
It's going against Nielsen, yep. Just got into the back of Burgill, Jim.
And I thought that was right. He did put him out of the contest with the push in the back.
From 60, Burgill, a floating, lofting, shocking-looking kick at the end, in towards the pocket now to play. Right forward pocket. Boundary throw in, Dependable Management Services scoreboard. East Burwood 16-7, 103. Vermont 10-10-70 into the last quarter of the 99 EFL Grand Final. Let's go down. In fact, we'll go down to you gentlemen in just a moment. Ball back towards the line and over for a boundary throw in. Here's Geoff Ward and Mark Evans.
Just looking at those mountains across the other side, and I'm glad. Just got to keep on this roll.
Thanks very much. Carlton leading by 7 points at the moment over Essendon at the MCG. What a cliffhanger. Imagine if Carlton got through. That'd shock a few people. Arthurson at half back here. Cullen across from the side. Back towards the middle. Lamprell rides the bump from Grinter. And eventually ends up with Power. Handball to Cordwell. Back to Power, right half forward. Just scrambles a kick to Neil. Turns around from 48 metres. And that's not a goal, is it? It's touched right on the line.
That's Slater.
Gee, he did well. And Slater and Mazzin's having a fair bit
yeah, I was just going to just keep your eye on it. But
well, the margin reduces again. It's back to 32 points, Brendan, I think now.
32, is it?
16-7, 103, 10-11, 71 it is. 32 points. Well, let's get some stats quickly from Geoff Dowling.
Okay, let's have a look. As you can imagine, it's been pretty much all Vermont. Inside 40s in this last term. We've got 7 to Vermont and a couple of free kicks to Vermont as well.
Gee, sounds like you've got a peg on your nose. Kick comes out.
That, yes.
Neil Marks at right half forward. The Eagles are flying high, but they need 6 goals to win this game of football.
Goals, not points.
Neil thumps it long off the left boot. That's a huge kick, and it's scored. It scored a point, did it? Yes. Gee, that's a massive kick.
That's huge. It's gone 60, 70 metres, I think.
The crowd down in front of us having a bit of fun.
Looks suggesting maybe Carlton have won the game.
Well, don't know. Kick to come in. Coghlan to bring it back. It's now back to 31 points. Coghlan to kick to the outer side, as he has done so far throughout this last term. Cameron Houghton takes the mark and handballs away to Nielsen, who goes long to centre wing outer side, looking for, well, Derek Coghlan. Williams came in and spoiled both players there. Picked up by Houlihan. Handball, Williamson off to Arthurson. He goes back to Williamson. Left half forward, back to Houlihan. He'll kick this. 45 out. Houlihan goes for goal. Vacant square. He's got it. That's the ball game, gentlemen. Houlihan has got 6 and he's playing it up to the crowd. He finished off a magnificent run from full back up to the forward line. Let's go down to Geoff Ward and Mark Evans.
Justin, what a fantastic running goal. Houlihan, he started it at the centre wing and then finished it off. For my mind, he's probably just about East Burwood's best player. 6 goals, been a match winner, closely followed by Trent Houghton.
Okay, thanks very much. Mark, what are your thoughts on best on ground?
Look, I'd be swinging more towards Houghton, or I really like the game of Edwards, but the hose has certainly turned it on up forward.
Yeah, I agree with you. 3 very good plays today, especially those 2, Houlihan and Houghton. It'll be interesting to see who gets best on ground today. Ball back in the middle, secondary bounce. Your thoughts, Brendan McCormack?
Yeah, well, I mean, it's virtually all over, you would think. You know, they've just torn them apart. You know, a luxury to bring on Cameron Houghton in the last quarter just for some extra run. They've just worked tirelessly today, East Burwood.
Here's Hall at centre half forward for Vermont. He got a handball to Smith, who got a handball wide looking for Cullen. That's Brad. Brad steadies from right half forward and goes inside 50, but Witcher goes back and takes a very gutsy mark for East Burwood. He's been very good play today, Justin Witcher. What about a best on ground, gentlemen? Your thoughts?
I like Trent Houghton. Houlihan and Edwards, those 3. But I really like the way Trent Houghton's just controlled the ball through the midfield there. Clearances has been sensational.
Jimmy Dowsley?
I'd have to say Houghton, because of his work in the middle, it's just been exceptional.
Geoff Dowling?
Yeah, his work ethic has been fantastic.
Yeah, he's been a great player. Be interesting to see if he gets the best on ground today. Kick comes across half back where Jason Coghlan takes the mark for East Burwood. And the margin now is 35 points as Williamson at centre wing gets a handball back to Shaw, back to Williamson across the EFL logo here at Bayswater. He goes up towards half-forward. Wind kept out of the contest as he has done for the most part of the day, been second to the ball, or certainly had a good contest with the Vermont backs. There's a free kick at centre wing going to Arthurson, who caught one high. Wind has made the contest and he certainly brought the ball down front and centre, but he just hasn't got his hands on it enough today, has he? Brendan McCormack? Stewie Wind?
No. Look, I mean, Houlihan's tore him apart down forward. Tennett's done quite good, and Stewie Wind, he's been good in patches, I suppose, but the other guys have taken a little bit of the heat, I suppose.
Cullen away from right half, back to the outer side and out of play for a boundary throw. And centre wing outer side, look at the crowd on the far side, just enjoying themselves at the footy for the last time.
I think that's Reese off Justin and Cameron Bain on.
Let's go down to Geoff Ward.
And Matty Edwards, actually. Matty Edwards off for Cameron Bain.
Thanks, gentlemen. Centre wing, outer side, boundary throw, and Witcher gathers. Handball inboard. Cameron Houghton there, picks up. His brother's been a star today. Gets a kick towards half forward. John Denny Colantonio's on the ground. Held off it by Reese. Dean, little handball underground. Edwards there, couldn't gather. Cullen got a quick kick away under pressure towards centre wing, broadcast side. Bain together. Bain steadies and gets a kick away towards left half forward. Rowe all by himself. He can run inside 50. He kicks from 50. It's not coming back enough though, and it's through for a minor score. 1 point, 10-13, 73 Vermont. East Burwood 17-7, 109. Here's Geoff Dowling.
Yeah, so I was just having a look. Vermont attack, but it's just not coming up. Too many behinds for them in this last two. If they hadn't put those through the big sticks, well, it could have been a completely different story. And we've got 16 minutes, guys, so those players can come back on. 36-point margin it is, and one of the runners going out now for East Burwood, so maybe there will be a change with Tennant coming back on. I think you might find Wind might come off for Tennant. I'll tell you what, see if you get the glasses on Tennant now. He's walking around the boundary line. He looks like Hannibal Lecter, mate. He's got that much stuff on his face, tape and bits and pieces.
Matt Smith kicks inside 50 and finds Cullen for Vermont. That's Mark Cullen. He'll go back and line up from the kick in. And Vermont have thrown everything they possibly can at East Burwood in this last quarter. Just hasn't been enough. Now have a look what's happening here. Stewie Wind is coming up the ground. Is he going to come off for Nick Tennant? Here's Mark Cullen. 40 metres out directly in front goal. Vermont get their 11th. Mark Cullen's got it. 11-13, 73, 17-7, 109. Let's go down to Geoff Ward.
Yeah, thanks, Justin. Yeah, it's Stewie Wind off and Nick Tennant back on in this last quarter. Also, O'Dwyer, also Tennant, as we reported it in the yellow card. O'Dwyer's getting ready to come back on too for Vermont.
Well, Brendan, I know Nick won't mind me saying it, but that is one heck of an ugly look he's got at the moment, isn't it?
Yeah, he looks all right. He looks like Beaker with that hair.
Ball back in the middle.
They've done well with the times. It's 17 minutes gone, so they've done all right on that score.
Good call. I like that. 17-7, 109, 11-13, 79. It's a 30-point margin. Is there time for the Eagles yet? Mark Cullen tries to gather through the middle. He can't pick it up, though. Arthurson can. Handball wide to Travis Edwards. He's been great. Travis Edwards finds Tennant. Biko, we'll call him. He's got it at right half forward. Bronx cheers from the crowd. He gets a kick inside 50. John Denny Colantonio couldn't take the mark. He bundles Peter Doyle out the way. He keeps the ball in play at 50. Houlihan creates some space and bends it around the body in towards the pocket. Standing under it is Witcher, but at the back, Matt Smith takes a very good mark. He's been pretty good for Vermont today, Matt Smith.
Yeah, no, he has been good.
Let's go down to Geoff Ward.
Well, it's Mark Evans actually down here, but when you look at the scoreboard, it's 24 scoring shots each, and it's just been, I've been a bit disappointed with Vermont, the way they've had shots at goal from outside 50 for this quarter, trying to use that breeze.
Yeah, very good point. Thanks, Mark. Here come East Burwood again. Cameron Houghton, little underground pass through the middle. Alistair Williams gathers. Handball wide. Richardson thumps it long inside 50, but it's very wide, and the numbers here are with Vermont. Cullen to take it. Well, was he off?
I think that was just a bit of a slip rather than off.
Cullen actually kicked into the man on the mark, and Houlihan will pick it up. He's already got 6. He bundles one out the way, comes out to Tennant. 50 metres out, handball inboard. Trent Houghton gathers. Cap it off, Trent. Cap it off. He has been fantastic, and he's got the goal. Trent Houghton looking very good for a best on ground today. He has been sensational, and what a way to finish it, Brendan McCormack.
Yeah, no, touch of class there, and just got it over the top of Smith's hands there, but he's just worked tirelessly. Across the ground, you look at their back line, sure, you know, Slater's been good. Their midfield, their delivery into the forward line's just been excellent.
Here's Geoff Dowling.
Yes, well, I guess it's all over. But one of the disappointing things you would suggest would be, as the call was made earlier, Vermont had just been bombing things away towards the goal. What do they kick there? I've got them down as kicking 3 goals, 7 in this term. So if they had converted that, it would have been a different story.
Nothing like keeping the game alive, Geoff Dowling. 36-point margin. There's a free kick at centre wing. Let's get a free kick count with Geoff Dowling.
Okay, free kicks. Well, that's another free kick to Vermont. Actually, I've only got 3 free kicks written down. They're all for Vermont, but I'm sure East Burwood would have had 1.
Okay, so it's 3-1 as Peter Doyle gets a kick towards left half forward. Off hands in front, Caldwell couldn't gather. Rose there, he's also been very good today for Vermont. Quick hands to Burgill, off to Mark Cullen. Left half forward still, 70 metres out. Burgill couldn't take it. It spills to ground level, crashing through. Williamson copped a high one. He's got a free kick out of this. Williamson will get a free kick. Vermont aren't happy with a couple of the decisions and a 25-metre penalty. In fact, it was Brad Hall, said far too much, Jimmy Dowsley.
I think he's getting 2, actually.
Well,
I think he's getting 2. Watch this.
I think you're right, because there's no stopping at 25. I look at things.
I was going to say,
or
unless that's one of your estimates again.
And Brad Hall's still going on it with Williamson. Williamson saying, look at the scoreboard.
Listen, let's say we catch up later for a drink.
But you just can't get stuck into the umpires like that verbally, can you?
Well, not anymore, because they can pay the 25, and obviously it's just a sign of frustration at the end of the game.
Well, Burgill was having a go at him as well, and I think that's what cost him the second one. But you said not anymore, so that means, did you enjoy the days when they used to get stuck in here?
Well,
did you give as good as you got? Put it that way.
36-point margin. Here's Adam Williamson, right half forward, but he's a good 70 metres out. He's waiting for a lead. Denny Colantonio is ignored. He goes long towards Houlihan. Got a hand to it. Tennant head over the ball. It's locked in by Todd Powell. Will have a ball up about 16 metres out from East Burwood's goal. Canterbury rode in this last quarter on GB Radio and Knox FM. Number 1 for EFL footy. Here's Brendan McCormack.
Yeah, thanks, Justin. Carlton are leading by 2 points.
Thanks very much. 17 metres out. East Burwood are leading by 36. Tennant grabs it out of the ruck. Can't get it to boot, though. Houlihan's held with it. He gets a snapshot, though. He's missed. And through for a minor score. Houlihan, what's his tally today, Geoff?
Houlihan, 3 in the first, then he got a behind, then he got 1 in the second, then he got another behind, and he's got 1 in the third and 1 in the fourth.
So what's his tally for the day?
Sorry, he's got 6 goals too, Justin.
He just kicked a point, so he's got
6 goals, 3, Justin.
6-3, thanks. Williamson from the kick in, fish it to ground. Denny Colantonio goes off the ground and out of play. Vermont will bring it back. Let's go down to Geoff Ward and Mark Evans.
So, Justin, yeah, just picking that best on the ground. Trent Hotton has been sensational, but my 3 best for East Burwood in all together in any order is Trent Hotton, Houlihan, and also Travis Edwards. What a fantastic game from him.
Yeah, and look, I think that everybody will check with Mark in a moment, but I'd say that all of us are up exactly the same up here as well. They are a standout 3 best players today. Ball centre wing out of side and kept in by Geoff. Richardson takes him over the line. Let's check with his best. Here's Mark Evans.
Yes, well, look, I love what Travis Edwards has done. He's only a young kid, and to play that well, I think that's terrific. I think he's just turned 21, but for me, it's got to be Trent Hotton.
Okay, thank you very much. And the other 2, you'd go with Houlihan and Edwards as well? We'll cross back to those gentlemen in just a moment. Ball on the outer side, and we've got another boundary throw in. Let's quickly go back to Mark Evans.
Yes, in the words of Rex Hunt,
ball out of play, centre wing. He's been waiting all year to do that. Ball comes
tell
in.
him that I do the jokes?
We're going to have to. Kick away towards half forward for East Burwood. They're heading down to stand on the dais and celebrate a grand final victory today, a premiership. As I think Carlton may have just got home by the crowd in front of us. Edwards goes long for 50.
There's a free kick back here, Justin, and it's too high. I don't know if he's paying the advantage or not.
Okay, thanks, Jim.
It's out on the 50-metre line. But look, things ball will come back.
Rod Grinter it is. Grinter will take the kick from about 52. By the sounds of it, the Blues have got home over Essendon. It's 8 points. Carlton up by 8 points. Thank you.
What would be the odds there?
Late in the last quarter, obviously. 18-8 to 11-13 here. Rod Grinter. How many goals has Rod kicked today?
Rod's had a great day. He's got 2-1.
He goes short. And he's found Alan Richardson. And I'll tell you what, I don't think this man's kicked a goal today. He wouldn't mind kicking one in the grand final, though.
Passed it off.
But he'll be unselfish and he'll go short to Derek Coughlin.
24 minutes gone.
Siren, you think wouldn't be too far away. 18-8, 116 East Burwood. Vermont 11-13, 79. So that's a 37-point margin. Nick Tennant coming off. This will be the blood rule, Jim.
Yes,
You would
like
suggest so by the look of his dial.
There's all red in between the two bandages, so I reckon that'll be it.
He's got about 46 metres of bandages around his head. How does that not stop the blood flow, Billy?
Are you saying he's got a big head?
Here we go with Derek Coughlin as Stewie Wine comes back onto the ground. Coughlin to line up. 96 league best and fairest. He'll be a 99 premiership player with the East Burwood Football Club in just a few moments' time. Derek Coughlin, captain of the Rams, will celebrate tonight. Will he kick this goal? 45 metres out, slight angle off the favoured left foot is right to the line. It's off target though, and through for a behind 38-point margin as the time clock is ticking away. Here's Geoff Ward and Mark Evans.
Yes, Hannibal Lecter's down here, and he's saying that he wants to come up and talk to one of you blokes in the box because he's not happy being referred to as Nick Tennant.
He's not happy. Yeah, fair enough. Kick to come in. Thanks very much, Mark Evans. Brad Neal, Arthurson flying for it. Arthurson keeping it in, but straight to the advantage of Brad Neal, who leans back and kicks to centre wing. Very good mark taken by Andrew Smith. Handball inboard to the running Morrison. Morrison kicks towards half forward. 2-on-1. Numbers favour East Burwood. Cameron Houghton handball away to Williams. Williams from half back cuts it low to the outer side, and he's found Witcher, who I think would be close to fourth best out there for East Burwood. He's had a wonderful day, hasn't he?
Yeah, he's had a good game.
Justin Witcher, of course, came from South Fremantle at the start of the year in the West Star competition. Goes wide to Nielsen. Another young overlapping half back flanker. Goes short to Houlihan, who goes short over the top to, who's that on the outer side? Arthurson, who goes short over the top to Sassman. So 5 short kicks go the distance of 1. He hands it off to Edwards. Edwards tackled, loses it, picks it back up, gives it to Slater, who goes wide to Coughlin, who has kicked a minor score. 1 point, 39-point margin. Here's Geoff Dowling.
26.5 minutes gone, so time is ticking away. Run of goals in this last quarter. Well, Vermont started off with the first 2. East Burwood, Vermont, then East Burwood.
118 plays 79 with his thoughts, Brendan McCormack.
Yeah, we'll blow the siren.
Well, it's going to be happy times for East Burwood, isn't it?
Look, they've certainly at the start of the year they've gone out and recruited the right players, and you know, they'll end off 1999.
Came here with big expectations today too, of course.
Yeah, 3 teams in. They've got 1 win and 1 loss so far, and they're headed for 2-1.
So I think you could probably say, in the words of that great man, Meatloaf, 2 out of 3 ain't bad.
Carlton up by 2 points, 1 minute to go. Ball out of play on the outer side. You'd think there'd be 1 minute or less here to go, but it's a 39-point margin, and it's in favour of East Burwood. And there's the siren. Congratulations to the East Burwood Football Club. They were thoroughly disappointed with their efforts in the final series in 1998. They looked hard and long at what they had to do, and they've done it. They've run out winners today in the 1999 First Division EFL Grand Final. East Burwood 18-10-118 have defeated Vermont 11-13-79. That's a 39-point margin. Congratulations to Alan Richardson and his team. I'll now leave you with Geoff Dowling, Jim Dowling.
gentlemen, we might get on with the presentations now. Before we get on to the individual players, there is an award that is presented by the league for the player that is adjudged the best player on the day. The Cliff Tompkins medal, the life member, is standing here right next to me on the right side. And the player that has been judged the best player in First Division Grand Final is Trent Houghton. Again, before we go through the individual presentations, on behalf of the executive of the Eastern Football and the staff, we'd like to thank the Bayswater Football Club for putting on such a great show. To the groundkeepers, I think we'd all have to agree that through the final series we've had the best facilities on which to play. Sensational series, a record crowd today by our estimations in excess of 10,000 people. Great for community football. And now with the individual presentations. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome number 3, Stuart Wind. Number 7, 6 goals in the grand final, I should say, Damien Houlihan. Number 8, Alistair Williams. Number 10, Adam Williamson. Number 11, Cameron Dean. Number 12, Andrew Jacovu. Number 14, Rod Grita. Number 16, Jason Coughlin. Number 18, Justin Witcher. Number 22, Chad Nielsen. Number 24, Cameron Houghton. Number 25, Lucas Slater. Number 26, Trent Houghton. Number 28, Paul Arthurson. Number 33, John Di Colantonio. Number 34, Travis Edwards. Number 36, Nick Tennant. Number 41, Brad Sassman. Number 45, Darren Shaw. Ladies and gentlemen, Chairman of Selectors, Doug Barwick. The runner, Neil Trellope. Selector, Paul McInerney. Selector, Matt Scully. Team Manager, Alan Tynan. Ladies and gentlemen, the captain, number 6, Derek Coughlin. And the coach, number 13, Alan Richardson.
Ladies and gentlemen, 11 grand finals, the Division 1 1999 grand final team, the East Burwood Rammers.
Just briefly, as coach of the winning side, I'd just like to obviously congratulate our social today. How's that? Yep. Really good individual efforts, but as a whole, I think the team just played fantastic footy. Commiserate.
I think it's fair to say that they'll have functions until the middle of next week, I would suggest to you. Now, why are we coming over to PA all of a sudden, John? But that doesn't matter. We'll just keep talking anyway. Geoff Ward.
I'm out here, Geoff. Yeah,
how are you, mate?
I'm out on the middle of the ground. Pick me up, trying to get a bit clear of the east. Just pandemonium out here. They're singing the club song again. They got the Goodyear hats on. Look terrific in AFL style. And look, congratulations to these birds. Terrific effort, really. They were the best side on the day. Commiserations to Vermont, but they certainly tried. Not the usual Vermont that we're used to, but I'm sure they'll bounce back next year.
Oh, you don't have to worry about that, mate. That is for sure. Who are you going to grab for a second?
We'll try and get on Richard for you in a minute, Geoff.
All right, you'll break it up a bit, so I'll tell you what, you give Ellen the earpiece and you chat to him out there and we'll keep quiet at this end. That doesn't matter because he can't even hear me anyway.
Yeah, we'll try and get him for you, Geoff.
All right, terrific. Thanks very much, mate. See how you go, because I think we're going to get kicked off the air in a few minutes anyway. But anyway, Rebecca, let's go through some of the goal kickers today and we'll just wind it up from there. John, just coming through the PA.
Yes, mate. We've got Alan Richardson with us just now.
All right, you go for it, mate.
Alan, firstly, congratulations. Great win today, and I was just saying, disappointment of last year, it's all forgotten now, and well done, it's all come together.
Yeah, look, fantastic. Obviously, fairly emotional time for the group. We recruited really well, and there was a fair amount of expectation on the group. I must admit the feeling at the moment is just almost one of relief that, we got over the line. I'm sure it'll sink in later on tonight. What a fantastic achievement it was, but, just fantastic effort by the boys, obviously.